Dumb Zone Podcast
is here to tell you about Fair Lease. Our friends at Fair Lease can be found at fairlease.org. They're here to help you lease your next vehicle. Get rid of that old clunker you got. You're not pulling no butt in that thing. Upgrade with Fair Lease at fairlease.org. They can handle this entire process for you from start to beginning. They're Texas proud, Texas owned, Texas strong. They are a part of the Credit Union of Texas. Sell your car, get paid fast with Fair Lease. Go to fairlease.org, click request a quote, then select the Dumb Zone. From that drop-down How Did You Hear About Us menu, they'll deliver the car right for you or right to you. You don't have to go to a dealership. It's all very fair. Fairlease.org.
All right.
Happy Monday. Yeah. Let's change Mondays. Let's make Mondays great again.
You talking about reclaiming Mondays? We're going to bring back Mondays to how they were.
Alcatraz, Mondays.
Wait, is Alcatraz in the news?
You didn't hear about that?
No.
Well, first I'll tell you that I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jake Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
A little chilly, buddy?
It's cold in this corner.
We have Clayton Kimbrough here as well. I don't think he was related to any coach or anything. But Blake's a little chilly. Got a little jacket on.
That's where all the computer stuff is. I think we got some vents above me. Or maybe I'm a bitch. Is that what you want me to say?
Blake wore his shirt that Poyito made for us.
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody tell me the bit today?
We were just thoughtful enough to think of Poyito in San Antonio.
Yeah, I just thought, what's the only Mexican shirt I got?
Oh, today's...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
left
right.
me that fast.
May the 5th be with you.
Well, truthfully, that's not really an alcoholic's
Yeah,
day.
that's
You know,
a good
again, that's a day tripper event. Does strike me as odd now that my wife does have a dinner planned tonight. That may be more than I thought it was at first glance. I'm
Maybe
maybe getting a
a little late.
Yeah. Didn't see the Alcatraz news. This is incredible. It makes all
Did you
the
just
sense
search?
in the world. Yeah. I mean, I knew what it was before you said it, but I'm surprised I didn't see it. But
We have to open Alcatraz again.
of course
Get to
we
work
do.
on it.
I mean,
Do it now.
Look, I hope this doesn't upset people who are Trump supporters or backers, but you can't not look at all of the things he says and not think, that's what I would have said if I were president when I were 10.
Yeah.
Like, we have an island for, like, bad guys?
Why don't we open it again?
Sharks?
Why is it closed?
Put them out there.
We
why don't
probably
we-
closed it because of woke.
Hurricane? Don't we have bombs for that?
Yeah.
Like, that's just exactly what I would have said in 5th grade. Who should be the new pope? I don't know, me.
That's why when they do the stories like that, he has someone edit out, just the fight scenes in some movie, or
Bloodsport, and
he just
made Eric
watches
do it. Yeah.
monkey videos for 8 hours. Like, that's why it's believable,
Right.
because you just think, well, what would a 13-year-old do?
Yeah, give me the good parts.
Yeah, I don't know about 8 because I think you got to be 13 to start grabbing them by the pee, but I'm not sure. Maybe you can at the age of 8.
If you're a star, they let you do it. Well, what a weekend, guys. What a weekend.
What a week coming up. First, before the weekend, do we have anything? So what is on the plate for this week? Just to let everybody know what we have coming up. Are we going to be appearing anywhere? What's the Friday? Is that just
That's just a
we're at
bros
person's place?
Let me check the Jason calendar of the week. Yeah, just Fox next couple days, Den on Thursday, and then a paid subby remote on Friday.
Now, why do you passive-aggressively now call it the Jason calendar of the week? With disdain dripping out of your voice.
I don't mean it to be disdain. I think it's a funny name, the Jason calendar. No, our buddy Jason from the internet just said, I don't really like not knowing when the live streams are or where you guys will be. You need to release these things. And I remember seeing in a Tesla, there's a thing called the Joe mode, where apparently this guy named Joe had emailed or just blew up Elon for a couple months, mad that the Tesla notifications would wake his sleeping child in the back. And so there's a feature in the Tesla called Joe Mode where the notifications only go through the front speakers to not wake up kids in the back. And I thought that's a nice little nod. So the Jason
mode.
calendar, the Joe Mode, gets you what you need and has a nice little name to it.
Yeah, and tomorrow we will have Jared Sandler to talk Rangers. He moving from his normal Monday spot. We might also have a professor who knows about humans fighting animals tomorrow on the show.
He's an expert. Well, I guess he's an expert. He wrote a book on it.
I think that qualifies.
And I've read a good portion of that book. I don't believe I
had someone fast forward.
I did the first 90%.
Where the fight parts in the book were.
Yeah.
I read those.
And on Thursday, I'm ready to announce here. I'm not sure if you wanted me to. But I will announce that on Thursday, we will have a big announcement. So I am announcing that we will have a big announcement, but it's not today. It's a programming announcement.
Look, this shit works for the NFL.
What's going on?
Just
you might be thinking about that now for a few days. Like, whoa, I wonder what they're going to announce.
Should be. Fake teeth?
Is Blake leaving?
Month for fake teeth?
Am I getting hair?
Oh, my God. That'd be so good.
Hair sponsors, call me.
Did you find your own Jordan Hudson?
Did I find a Jordan Hudson?
Did I find my Demi Moore?
I did, but I won't be with her for 20 years. I was just at the Grapevine.
Nursery?
Yeah. Okay, so, yes, we should talk about the fantastic weekend. And I suppose we could start by talking about the fact that we were out there at the Byron thanks to Tito's Handmade Vodka, and that will be our weekend check sponsor. Me or you?
Me. Tito's Handmade Vodka is, Dan, America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6-time distilled till it's just right, naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Many of those enjoyed out there by the patrons at the Byron on Saturday. Beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly. The Weekend Check brought to you by Tito's. Our appearance out there at the Byron brought to you in part by Tito's. The Soroy's Afternoon brought to you wholly by Tito's. It was a fantastic time out there.
I thought it was very cool, and I'm glad that we did cancel Friday. I know there was a little dissension. We weren't all on that page. Maybe we should ride out this weather.
There's a lot of uncertainty.
There was not
the problem.
certainty.
If we knew for sure we could get in, we might have ridden it out.
Right. But, it was a weird feeling. Like, now we're here. Now I'm home. It's Friday. But, just woke up Saturday, just acted like it was a regular day, except the old ball and chain is sitting over there wanting me to do stuff. I'm like, no, this is a job. Like, do you get a problem with?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, you got the same thing then.
I don't want to talk about it at all.
Do you, Blake? Like, does your wife think this is like, oh, you're just going to play with your friends? I used to get it in radio too, and now it almost seems extra. It's weird.
No.
Like, yeah, this is probably more of a job.
Not probably.
Like, I'm doing so much. We were on a sales call this morning for an hour and a half.
No, we kind of tag team Sunday to Friday, whatever. She works weekends, so I've got the kid during the weekend. Whatever happens during that time is my time.
Okay, so if you had to go work Saturday,
you
just got to deal with it.
Gave him to my sister. Have fun with your cousins.
Whoa. You got a sister, bro?
Mm-hmm.
Have you met
This
her?
is like the 6th time you've
Have you ever
had
met
this
his
reaction
sister?
to me.
She
saying
white?
Yeah, we're related.
Well,
How have I never heard about this sister
I
before?
don't know.
I've never seen her.
Me neither.
Yeah, you never will.
That is not cool, dude. Oh, you're just afraid of my animal magnetism, and then
You end up as his little stepson.
Yeah. That'd be bad news.
Wait, that wouldn't make you.
What if I was your brother-in-law?
Yeah, your brother. There you go.
Wouldn't that be cool? Or just your brother, your
I don't know. The one I got
side
now,
piece-in-law?
the one I have now is a mechanic, and he fixes my car for free.
Oh,
Stuff. I can't compete.
What
with
can
that.
you bring to the table?
Not a wedding appearance.
fun.
Nope. Fun.
Yeah, and aren't I fun?
He'll clean up for you.
I'll bring the Lodestar.
You do the dishes, yeah.
Yeah,
I will
I
absolutely
fight that same battle, but you just press on. You press
Anyway.
on, and you go have a great day on
Anyway,
Saturday.
the weather was great.
Oh.
The whole setup, I don't know. I was out there a few years ago, and I wasn't there. I don't know. Is that 17th hole thing new?
Newish.
Okay, but
And
it wasn't
added
there
on
year
every
one.
year. No, maybe
It wasn't
not.
like that.
It wasn't like that.
It's kind of like
They got an alley.
it was enclosed. Yeah, it was kind of like it had everything but a dome over that hole. It was like its own little stadium.
It's like that hole at TPC at the Waste Management.
I am not familiar with that hole.
That's what they're
I'm just
trying to-
familiar with that being a big party scene.
Yeah.
And so this was as well. And it was great. They got grandstands. It's a par 3, so they got grandstands lining the sides of the hole. And then grandstands at the behind the tee and grandstands behind the green as well. So it's all enclosed in there. And it's just fabulous. I guess one side is all corporate suites. But air quote corporate, it's still
Party.
a big part. Yeah, it's not like your corporate fan. Like this is the time that the corporations let it go. And then they got the huge corporate suites like at the end, the T. And then we were on the side that was more open to the public, but it was sponsored by Tito's. So that was the Tito's area, and that was like the wildest area you could be in, I think.
Yeah, there was a DJ. there was a lot.
Hots all over the place.
There were hots.
a
dude.
red
It's a
pants
lot of guys
DJ.
who works out.
Red pants
work out.
guys.
Yeah, it was a great time. The weather was perfect. We found out what the CJ group is, Korean conglomerate.
Can I talk about the younger hots with somebody that can tell me about this? So, it's like your mid-20s, and you're all hot and stuff, but their face sometimes will look like the 40-year-old ladies that I know in Southlake, or even 50-year-old when they're getting Botoxed up or the lip thing.
Very popular.
And you can tell,
Younger.
I don't mind, whatever. You're working on yourself. So that's great. Whatever you want to do. But when a mid-20s person does that, it looks really weird. Like it fits with the older lady. I get it. You're trying to stay tight here. But
yeah,
why is the mid-20s girl
because
getting lip injections?
well, I don't have a great answer.
They're
other
already
than,
are they trying to be like when UT started taking Mike Leach's stuff from?
There you go.
Yeah, we're like we're already awesome. We're now going to do the bit you're doing, and we'll be even more awesome and just lap you. But it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I agree with you. It makes you look old, but I think the thought is that you can prevent aging.
I like mine
Like you get in front of it.
I like mine like Jordan Hudson, more of just a natural. She just looks natural. If you're going to be controlling me from the corner of the room, dude, can you wait till I get my 24-year-old girlfriend just sitting over there?
Oh my
No.
god.
You think it'll be great?
Yeah, and I want to hear your daughter's reaction to it.
That's the only thing. The only thing that'll make it worth it.
Oh, yeah.
For the three of us to put up with.
I'm going to have her stand behind Clayton, and she's like, get the shot, get that.
I want you to change the will on the show to where she gets everything.
Yeah, that the reaction of your family is what
But
would
girls,
make it
you just
worth
have to act nice to her, and she'll be fine. You'll get I'm sure she'll slide you off a piece of this enormous podcast fortune.
Now, again, remember, she has to be, when this happens, 10 to 12 years younger. Like, Steve Belichick's probably like 37.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wait.
I get that you really have to have it to a point where it's just egregiously in their face.
Okay.
Like, this
So
person is 10. I could be
This
there.
potential girl is 10 years old right now, is what you're
Yes.
maybe
Correct.
even 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I did see, so it's a Korean group. There was Korean food out there. Bibigo. Is it Bibigo?
Yeah.
Was a food vendor. I watched a lot of Byron yesterday. A lot. It was on for an hour. And I saw a lot of Korean food commercials. Dan and I went into the skybox for the CJ group, and it was like Korean royalty. That part was not party. It was like 10 very, very, like, they looked like they were members of a royal family.
Mm-hmm.
Like, very prim and proper, I assume, Korean people. But then I put this image in there, Clayton, of the flyover. We were walking back to our tent, and there's an airplane overhead that someone points out. And it is, I assume, an airplane with a banner being flown by Live Golf. And the banner says, "Enjoy the Nelson and Live Golf at Merido, June 27th to 29th. Merido, another club course, big-time course here in Dallas that they're playing. It's also just enjoy the Nelson and Live Golf.
right.
Like, why pick type thing. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, I guess so. Or are they giving a backhanded thing because they're trying to call it the Byron nowadays?
We did discuss that on Saturday's golf show. But I don't know. Our contact at the Byron was like, I guess we're doing something right if they're.
Yeah, she was like,
about us.
we're thinking, do we fly one over there tournament or something? I'm like, I don't know.
I kind of want to go.
To a live golf tournament?
It seems like the saddest scene in the world right now.
Do they have one here in Dallas?
The one they were just flying that banner for.
Oh, okay. Was that a really dumb question? Because you just talked about that.
I'm not going to tell
Where
you
is it,
what
though?
is and isn't dumb.
Did you say where it was? And I didn't listen to that either?
See, in the old days, you would be jumping in with me here.
Yes or no? I'm just.
Yeah. No, put the banner back up. It's fine.
Did it say exactly where it is?
Yeah. It's a course that
The address?
Merido is the course that
I don't know what that means.
But I said
What is Merido?
a big course.
All right.
Anyways, it's not a big deal, bro. We're reframing Mondays. But yeah, it just looked like for this big bad moneyed organization, like they were supposed to change that looks sad. It's not even it's a little banner. Like it's not even it just looks like you called your buddy in Keller who has a prop plane and you're like, for $200, can I get a little coverage?
Well, they're looking for marketing, and they're like, where are the golf people? Okay, they're here.
I guess that makes sense.
You think it was a funny conversation when Liv was like, "Hey, we need to fly this plane over." You're like, whoa, wait. What? Oh, just an advertisement. Gotcha.
So wait, you need someone who
watching
can
you.
land it?
All right,
We're
just
gonna
making
need you.
sure.
We're gonna need you to land.
I don't
We're not
know.
gonna crash anything. We just want you to fly this banner.
At first, they say, we need someone that can fly a plane, and you got
Whoa, hey, wait,
15 arms go up in the air. They're like, all right, we're going to need you to fly around, fly the banner, and then land it. And then it slowly your arm. Oh, okay. Where's the...
There's going to be a meat carving station. It's just for prime rib. Oh. Not an execution. But it had all the fun out there, man. I thought the sorors were great. I thought Emily was great.
All the fun signs.
I like big putts, and I cannot lie. Come on,
I
man.
did not know Tito's coins was a real thing.
It
I
is.
feel like they were created only for the sorors.
Yeah.
For them to have little tokens for cocktails.
Party time.
Yeah.
Because par is like a golf term, and then tee. Who's your caddy, of course. Yeah, great stuff.
Very good stuff. And then from there, I'll go, I guess. It was camping time. Fake camping. It's at a little park in the Grapevine, South Lake area at Grapevine Lake. So.
And you have to remember this. That's real camping for people who live in Garland.
Yeah.
They will drive over. I'm just saying.
Right. I don't want to
You
oversell
live
it.
5 minutes away, so it seems like fake camping, but it's a campground.
Yeah, that's
there
a
are
good
literal
point.
campers there. There are tents. It's outside.
Yeah.
But since you live 5 minutes away, you're like, oh, this is like in my backyard. It doesn't really count. So it kind of.
That's a good point. I didn't want to oversell like us roughing it.
No,
but
it's a good starter camping thing for you though with a little kid, because then if things went awry, you could be home in 10 minutes.
Yes, and if you need to go get cheese pizzas for the kids that don't eat grilled meats and vegetables, you can. And that was very easily done. But so this is a group of people. I don't really know any of the dudes that well. I've hung out with them a couple times now. that Nora went to preschool or Montessori with, and now she doesn't go to school with them anymore. And it's a loose association. They do play dates and stuff like that. We went to the winery when they stole all the Spectrum flags, but I don't know these people that well, but they asked, and I got to tell you, it was awesome. It was a great time. Thing one, you may recall a couple of years ago, the last campound we did, I had purchased myself a one-person tent. It was like this new type of tent for morons, me, because I can't fix your car like Blake's brother-in-law. And it was very simple. It was just like a pull up the top, the things pop out, and it was like $200, but I'm like, that's worth it for me. Well, now your standard tent just has that technology. If you're willing to spend $120, you get you a 4-person tent now with the new setup. The days of tent beating are over. You're not sliding that shit through those little, trying to bend it. Like, where did the physics come from here? That's all done, dude. It is a straight up, it makes sense. The legs fold in, and then they fold in again. And when you need to set up, you fold those out, and you pull the centerpiece up, you pop, and when the top pops, they lock. That's it. So that's a huge upgrade on the camping scene right there. So there were probably like 8 tents, 5 or 6 other families. The girls all slept in a tent together, which for them is like, that's the coolest thing in the world. When we were going to bed, by we, I mean mainly me, at about 10:30, because I found out the next morning the other adults stayed up until 4.
Doing what?
Drinking.
Yeah, but not even like crazy drinking. Like hanging out drinking, like a little rough in the morning, but they just hung out. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What's the age? Because, when my kid was, 5, or how old is
Nora's
your
6.5.
But, there are people that might be, 25 with a 6-year-old.
It's not
So
that.
are you hanging out with guys that are 15 years younger than you?
No.
Okay.
I think either all same age or possibly no more than a year or two younger and possibly older.
Okay.
And not from here either for the most part. They're like real professionals who moved for their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't think they were older. They just have more energy, I guess. Because I woke up the next morning and everyone was asleep, and I'm like, all right, I'll go work in the car.
But that's
whatever.
also your time, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to bed, and we're the girls. We can hear them in their tent. There's 4, 5, 6-year-olds in there, and we were like, hey, stay in the tent. Don't go back down to the water. It's nighttime. I hear my wife tell them that and walk back to our tent, and I guess I think we can't hear them, and I'd immediately hear Nora go, don't worry, I'm going back down. She's like, I'll get it. We'll go back down there in 5 minutes. And I'm like, Nora, I can hear you. She's like, okay. We're going down there. We're going back down. And just listening to their little – and the other thing, too, that I thought was funny, I've heard you talk about this with your daughters, like when you went from being the guy who is like they want to be around you to the guy they want to laugh at.
At first you're feared and revered. Yeah, and then you become the joke.
So that was kind of a funny thing to watch, just like how she would introduce me to her friends and – then getting played by kids. Like her friend came up to me at one point and was like, hey, can Nora come with me over here? And I was like, I don't know. Have you talked to your parents? She's like, my dad said it was cool. I'm like, huh, all right. That happened 3 times. In all 3 cases, the dad was unaware.
They were lying to you?
Yeah, just different little kids coming up to me and trying to play me and figure out the power dynamic.
But if you say yes, then they can go to their dad and be like, oh, yeah, he said okay.
I know. But I'm not in that situation that often, but I was in it for like 24 hours of different kids just trying to play different parents against each other for this or that. It was a lot of fun. Had a guy out there who's meat guy, of course. I think he might even be like Brazilian.
What do you mean meat guy? He's the guy at the grill?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just had tons and tons and tons of different cuts of meats just nonstop.
You need that guy.
You got to have that guy. And we listened to the Stars game on the radio.
Cool.
Like by a fire, which I still smell like 2 showers later. But then, in the morning, and even the setup part, like just look at it as a workout. Like in the morning, it's like, all right, I got about 40 minutes of cleanup here to do. Everyone else is violently hungover. I'm not. So let's take a walk around the lake, bust down the tent, clean up. I don't know. The whole thing was just very, very cool. And my daughter was like in heaven. It cost nothing. So 10
You're
of
gonna
10
do it
would
again.
recommend. And then the next day, I was in a real pickle because I'm on a ragtag flag football team that has been put together from the remnants of 2 other teams. We're 7-0. Last game of the season yesterday. 1 seed already locked up. I wanted to forfeit. We only had 4 or 5 guys. You need 8 on 8. We were down from QB2, and we scraped together. I put out the call on Twitter. Got a guy. I don't know that he's a huge listener, but his friend is a huge listener, Taryn. And we also grabbed a couple dads, including one of the dudes on our team's dad, who's a freakish athlete. He's in shape. And I guess we thought, let's take your dad to work day and we'll throw him at quarterback. And
Oh, no. No,
I
you
mean,
hide that guy.
while he is in shape for a guy who's in his 50s and he probably can throw a ball a mile, I'm not sure the last time he saw like a bail defender and hooked a curl because he had thrown 3 passes and we were down 21-0.
Cool.
The first 2 went to the house. The second one gave him a short field.
All right.
Who yanked him?
Himself, because after the first 2, we were going out there, and I was like, yo, maybe it's time we try our man over here. Like, he's already the 3rd-string quarterback, like, so let's just give him a shot. And he goes, I'll say when I'm out. And then he fed one into the
Wow.
flat, and he goes, I'm out.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, and he was cool
You
about
throw
it.
2 pick sixes, though, and have the balls to be like,
He's
Yeah.
the dad, and the game didn't matter, but I was like
Yeah.
looking, all my guys I regularly play with kept going over to Taryn, the listener who filled in, and like apologizing to him, like, we don't suck this bad, I promise. I'm like, I don't know, dude. The scoreboard says 35-6.
well, as long as it wasn't the God Squad that got you.
It was not. It was not. It was
That
super,
hurt.
super cool. And you also got the deal because people act like this is like the NFL. They were walking off the field and they were like, "Don't get confident. That ain't the team we're seeing in 2 weeks. Don't get too confident." I was like, whatever.
Well,
I mean,
what about all this negative momentum heading into the playoffs, though? Can you
I know.
overcome this?
I know. Norm would freak out if he saw the splits we're about to turn in
It just
after
gets
a
you used to it, yeah.
great weekend, though, man. Had a lot of fun with you guys. Had a lot of fun with the fam.
Yeah, I forgot to mention about the weekend.
Balled out.
So Elite Rides actually picked us up and drove us to the golf tournament. And I'm telling you what, that's a huge part of the whole thing.
Soroyd never been in one.
Yeah, no, he loved it.
He was commenting.
And Jesse at Elite Rides just was talking about how they get a lot of reaction from people who listen to the Dumb Zone, or at least, or you're Dumb Zone adjacent. Maybe you've told your wife about it and then she's used it, or prom or something. I guess proms are coming up.
Maybe an
That's a big
escort
deal.
that you used, and you need to send her home or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
they'll do whatever.
Yeah,
and they're
but-
going to do it in style.
But it's not like if you get an Uber or something, you're just not sure. Are you going to get picked up by TC and his beater?
Yeah.
Or are you going to get picked up by like a real clean
Kristen
Sprinter
told me on a
van?
work trip last week she actually got picked up by an Uber driver who was smoking.
Yeah.
Now, with Elite Rides, there may be a situation where you can select smoking. And if you want them to smoke, maybe they will. They're going to take care of you, and they're going to give you 15% off your first ride when you book via the phone or the app. That is DZ15 for 15% off. It's 844-RIDE-DFW, or their app. It is Elite Ride.
Or eliterides-dfw.com.
Book them up.
Yeah, so that was great because they will pick you up. That's what they're really built hard for, that, like a weekend sporting event. Like, that's their game. They love that, but a lot of other stuff too. So I, like you, smelled like fire because, we live kind of in the country type thing. We got horses. We're horse adjacent. We're like lake adjacent, but we're not on the lake. We don't have a horse, but we have horses right across the street. And so we have lots of trees and stuff. So, branches with the winds, everything's falling out. So we had this huge pile of sticks and stuff we had to burn at some point, and it's a real weird situation that we only have a couple times a year that we can have a really big bonfire out back. Because sometimes it's real windy.
Yeah.
And, like, if it's windy on a Saturday or a Sunday, well, then we just can't do it. During the week, we're usually too busy. And then, once it hits June or whatever, it's just you can't go have a fire when it's 90 degrees when it's dark. So, yeah, we had a perfect day for it. Burned a ton of stuff. This is yesterday. And then I did my garage project, which I told you I was going to try and do. And the worst thing about it is, because I've lived in the same house for over a decade now, I spent 3 hours out there, took everything out of the garage, and then, blew it all out, swept it, brought everything back in, never really got to the workbench. That was just too much to organize, so I'm going to have to get back to
your
it. Your
prized workbench.
And when you come over, you'll be like, oh, you did? I don't think you'll notice it. But I had to stop because the recycle bin is just now full. You need to move every 5 years, I think. Or else you end up with, what I have. It's just too much stuff. We just got to, and my wife never likes throwing anything away. So I'm throwing stuff away like behind her back. And eventually she'll like, hey, where's that blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw it or used it? I don't know, 4 years ago. Okay, yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean,
I threw a lot of stuff away that
it depends on how
depends
on how you operate. Like, it's tough for me to separate two things. One, you are really good at saving things, but also like you want to move a little more lightly, right? And that's hard to do. For example, I don't have the ability to be like, here's a letter I got when I was working for such and such, or here's this thing. I mean, hell, we've talked recently about me losing stuff in the move. That probably happens because I will throw away anything not attached to my body. I have nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. But that problem is I don't have any cool shit.
You're like De Niro in Heat.
Yeah.
Around the corner.
You have to be able to get out of here.
Yeah. And so I think there's a pro and a con, Like, you've got a lot of really cool. Now, I'm trying to be better about it with kid stuff. And, filming the mundane, but that takes no space. You know what I mean? Like, having all your kids' stuff eventually.
It's probably better to be like you.
Pro and con, but I try to clean things out like every month.
But yeah, if you need an adapter that fits this thing that I use
from 1994,
Blake knows he can ask me, and
I know, and I love y'all are both kind of like that. It brings me great anxiety to have too much stuff.
Let's check in with Clayton, who perhaps was on Reddit / fast food, or what's your bit?
Reddit / fast food, yeah.
For weekend check? Yeah. No, I mean, is that besides the Nelson, or unless you have a Nelson tale you want to tell about your weekend?
No, I mean, the Nelson, I just want to give a major shout out to the Truck Boys.
Yep.
Marv is a wild man.
Yes, our new promo man.
Yeah, dude, he'll take a call from his work and sound like very professional, very sharp, and then he'll just hang up and just be Marv.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. He's got that switch.
And he's
dressed
He's
like
a walking
caddy.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yes, he bought like the a Masters caddy outfit, and it said DumbZone on the back, and it had the number 69 on the front. And he was like, the caddy outfit is you look like a painter or something, right? It's just a full white jumpsuit. And yeah, people were just pulling him aside, not knowing anything about us, but having a picture with him. They wanted to have a picture with Marv.
Yeah.
And he was running our promotions, and most radio promotions people kind of look like me, just sitting there beating. But he was just dancing in the music.
Oh my God!
Taking picture. He was the greatest.
He was a huge
handing out stickers.
Yeah,
yeah. So he's great. TC's an assassin with a camera, just all over the place, taking shots and helped us with the setup. Blake's a freaking wizard with audio. So
the setup looked really good.
Yeah,
like the whole presentation I thought looked great.
We had a bunch of great guys working with us, and it was the first remote I hadn't had a panic attack at, so I was massively excited. And then I also had a bunch of E Fratelli pizza at home, so I was was ready. I treated Friday like a Saturday, so then like Saturday was just another Friday. It's ready to party.
What was Sunday?
Gemstones.
Fun day.
Yeah.
Can't mess with Sunday. So walking out of the building here last Thursday.
Here at Fox 4.
Yeah, here at Fox 4, Robert, our good buddy down the hall, asked me if I wanted to go to Mayfest. And I said, sure. So it's a carnival in Trinity Park. I'd never been to Trinity Park in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Really cool.
I want to say that is the location of my my proposal.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. We talk about that I had to drag my wife to because she was so hungover, and I'd already paid for the photos.
Yeah, it's a vast park, but you can drive in it. You got to
Yeah, you got a train going through.
Yeah, this really weird old bridge you got to drive under. Anyway, but you remember doing stuff like this at the ticket, you'd have to park, 5 miles away.
Did you park at Farrington?
No.
Okay.
But you remember these days.
Of course.
You take a train in, you walk a mile, cross this bridge. It was a beating. And sometimes I'd have, run engineering, have to run stuff in there. But I'm here to tell you, when you get a TV parking pass from Fox 4,
oh, ho, ho, ho.
Drive up to the police check-in station, give them the little badge, says Fox 4 on it. Oh, right this way.
Dude, we got to just make this thing full-time TV. What are we doing? I'm learning so much more about how TV people expect things and this
It's cool.
and that now.
It's better when people ask you who you're with, and if you say DZTV, it sounds better.
I just say Fox.
Yeah.
I was like, I work for
Yeah,
Rupert.
my pass
I'm
said
just
Fox
saying
4.
when you throw the word TV in there.
yeah, it does
the
sound
letter.
better than, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, just parked right next to the gate.
So
Easy
I
in,
had
easy out.
reports from Mayfest from my family that our favorite service dog in training, Poppy, was out there at Mayfest. Did you run into Poppy?
Who's Poppy?
The dog.
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
No. I didn't see the Fox 4 tent.
In fact, so when I was at the Byron and we were waiting for our ride after the thing, our golf cart ride to get back to the parking lot.
Yeah.
There's a guy eyeing me up. He's in a golf cart. We're like behind the thing. So the Byron has the grandstand, and then there's actual like condos or houses or whatever.
Yeah, shout out to Jaime. I met a guy back there.
Is that whose house?
Yeah, we met two listeners who have a house that like backs up.
You can usually it overlooks the 17th green,
But they blocked it.
but they block it with the grandstand. So we're between the grandstand and those houses waiting for our ride. And I see some guy sitting on a golf cart, and he's eyeing me up. And over the years, you have this, I think you even said when we met the guy who got in the helicopter crash at the Stars game, you felt it. You felt somebody eyeing you up.
If the look lingers, yeah, then you
And
know.
then there's a guy lingering a look, and then he's kind of like wondering. And so that's what I felt like. And that he's a listener, and he's wanting to know, or he's calculating the approach or whatever.
Right, he's thought about this moment for years.
Or he's about to get his ass kicked.
And he's with another guy in the cart. So now they pull up to me. And he's like, hey, what are you doing here? I go, and because Jake's over talking to Jaime or something. And I was with Soroy. And I go, I don't know, watching golf, hanging out. He's like, really? Who are you with?
Jeez, dude.
And so, but it was kind of like he's being so aggressive in my face. I'm like, okay, this is a Marv type. He's a listener who's trying to do a bit. And I said, what do you mean? Like, what are you saying? He goes, what's your organization? Who are you with? And I'm wearing a press pass, and it said Dan McDowell, no Puppet Productions on it.
Is he red pants?
And
No.
And I said,
They were super cool to us.
I was like, it says it right here. He's like, what's your name? Who are you with? I go, well, I mean it. And so I go, are you fucking with me, dude? And he goes, no, I'm asking you a question, and you're not answering me. Like he's really like now I'm like, wait, are you busting? You're busting my balls, right? Like this is fake. You're doing a bit and you're gonna reveal.
And this was after the show?
Yeah.
Okay. If you can get me out of here faster than I can currently go, then have at it, boss.
No, but so like he's in my face and he's like, and I go, it's right here. And he's like, well, I don't think you're allowed to be back here. And I'm like, wait. And then so now I see his name tag and it says like security, whatever. He had no idea who we were or I was. Like
There were
I'm
no
cockily,
bits in play.
I'm thinking, oh, this is a listener who's messing with me. And so I start messing with him back type thing before I know the true thing, which is he's like kind of a cop.
Yep.
And
Also, like
then I'm
this guy was like,
profusely apologizing.
it was like a 60-year-old, very stern black guy. Like he looked like.
Well, no, his buddy is the one who was talking, the
Okay.
white guy.
Okay, because
And
the
he was
guy
kinda
that
jacked.
pulled up did look to me like this guy doesn't F around. He looked like the captain from The Wire.
Yeah.
The guy that died.
I just thought he was with a guy who just didn't know about us, you know.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so it turned. Now I'm profusely apologizing. Sir, I am so sorry. I just thought you were a buddy messing around or anyway.
Yeah, it was. I walked back up.
Puss.
I kind of waited for the whole thing to, dissipate and walked over. Like, what was just happening here?
We got a heads up
Soroy's
from Rosie
no help.
pulling in. She was like, the security team that's working this event today did the Rose Bowl in New Orleans after
Yeah,
the New
not
Year's.
the Sugar Bowl. Yeah,
Sugar
she
Bowl,
did
yeah.
say because I saw the. I mean, I know there's like this whole like militarization of local police. They get gear from the whatever, but McKinney had a tank out. I mean, it's a tank. It's basically an assault vehicle. And I was like, do you think we need it?
Hey, if that live plane gets a little squirrely, you might need that
You might
thing.
have to look, get Raytheon back involved for that one. But I was like, there just seems like a lot. And our contact was like, yeah, but we did just do New Orleans and,
The thing is, too, the press pass, I operate under the assumption that the press pass will get you in anywhere in any event. So if you're like at a Stars game or whatever, you're like, you just can walk into the suite area. Like, they'll stop people, they'll check their tickets, and you just show them your press pass. Oh, okay, yeah, go on.
Mhm.
I can just get into a suite with my press pass. Okay. So I did that at you said, what was the CJ Cup, the CJ
group.
company or group, they had this real exclusive area. And Jake's like, I don't think we can go up there. I go, well, let's just see. And it's like,
Yeah.
now, luckily, someone was a listener. They knew us. But I think we could have got up just with the press pass. Like, I just got a press pass. Just walking around. I want to see everything here.
I mean, and he's 100%
And
right.
so that's when the security guy, like, I got a press pass, bro. I'm allowed to be here.
Which is interesting because, like, he's right, and I know that he's usually right. But on my hand, I look over and Dan's like bowing, and I was like, well, that's why we don't let him in here.
Yeah.
Like, why? What
Sometimes
is
you
he?
gotta-
Why are you doing that?
You can get in most places if you have a confident gate. If you just walk in like,
Well-
yeah, I'm supposed to be here. Why are you stopping me?
It really
Come on.
does work.
Come on.
It
Yeah,
absolutely works.
Yeah.
By the end of our time in those suites, they wanted us to do the show there that day. Like, why don't you come on down here?
So
He actually was fired up.
I went to Mayfest. They had a few rides, just a long walkway of food, and it was cool. Perfect day for it. But obviously, I was there for Brooks. 3-year-old wanted to ride the rides, and like each ride was $4 each, or I could get an unlimited wristband for $30. So I thought
7 rides.
with the 3-year-old, exactly, got him the unlimited, and then it's just a game of I got to make this money work.
You have to get at least 8.
Right. So I buy the wristband. He rides a couple rides. I have it in my head. Okay, we're at $8. We got to get to 30.
And he doesn't want to ride anymore.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So he wants what did he want? He wanted some Dippin' Dots. We walk along, get him some Dippin' Dots.
Can't use the credits.
Nope, can't transfer him over. And then they have a legitimate park, swings, rides, whatever, in the middle of the park, and he's doing that for about 20 minutes. I'm like, what am I doing? This is free. We could do this at any point. We have to go ride rides. And so then it's a manipulation game of, hey, well, whatever. So it just became a game of, can I get to 30, or how little can I make each ride? It just became value at that point.
Straight establish the run guy here.
For sure.
Doesn't matter if the kid's enjoying it. Just matters that he gets his proper ROI and feeling like he was able to use a coupon by getting $2 extra out of 8 rides.
So I kind of built it up to him that the merry-go-round was like the coolest thing he could do on planet Earth, just so he would ride it. And boy, we can't update this thing.
What
It's
are we
been-
talking? What do you mean merry-go-round? The ride?
You're just saying it's the same thing
It's
as
the
it was
same
when you were
BS
5?
since 55.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
When I think
though?
of a okay, you're talking about, the carousel.
the horse, yeah.
Because isn't a merry-go-round also the one you just jump on and fling people off of? Like the spinning thing on the playground that like little kids aren't allowed to do?
That's a merry-go-round?
Yeah, I never called it that.
What'd you call it?
I don't recall. But the when you say merry-go-round, I think of the horses going
Yes.
up and down.
Okay,
or-
yeah.
For sure.
I think carousel, but yeah, that thing is, it is. But what would they do?
I don't know. It just
That spinning thing, by the way, one of the great things on any playground. I wonder if woke has ruined it.
No, I know it
because-
hasn't.
Okay.
I know it hasn't because
It's not safe.
dude,
No.
let me tell you a
Nothing
story.
safe about that at all.
So we went to meet the teacher night or whatever, like the first big night where at our school all grades were there, and they just let them all out to the outside area.
No,
and,
you can't have bigger kids.
and,
playing
we-
with
and
little
they were
kids
like,
on
"Hey,
that.
we're gonna do like this big silly string thing," and like, there's no teachers out there. Well, there were, but they're talking to parents. There's no one supervising the playground.
And those
Dude,
the big kids will
and-
spin at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Nora straight up flew off.
Yeah,
Like she was holding on.
dude.
And there were like 3, dude, a 10-year-old boy, you get 3 or 4 of them together, they could kick my ass. And they're running as fast as they can and spinning it. And there's just kindergartners on there flying off. And I'm like,
Yeah.
honestly, I was like, this rocks. I was like, I'm so happy. That was another thing I didn't mention in my part of the weekend check. The kids are fine. All the talk of, and I'm sure there's problems, social media, whatever. Dude, I sat there and watched because all the other parents weren't. I watched from a perch as 5 kids just sat down there at a creek for 2 hours. And you know what they did? They killed minnows.
Nice.
yeah.
25, 30 of them in their hands. And I'm like, oh, fuck, this is nice.
They'll default back to normal human
Just
behavior.
straight
at
up
some
Lord of
point.
Flies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So you know how we become an expert of things just by osmosis? We feel like, I've said this before. I looked at 6 diamond rings when I was proposing to my wife, and by the end of it, I thought, yeah, I could be a diamond expert. I can tell you what's real and what's not. I was just up on my roof with Qualis getting it replaced, and by the end of it, I thought I see that. That's a big hailstone or whatever, hail damage. I think I could have run that merry-go-round a lot smoother than Jose was.
Okay.
There were a few different rides where like the row of giraffes were not taken, the carts were not taken. We've got to maximize here. If these kids here
Yeah.
want to ride the horses or whatever, then get some kids from the back. The ride has to be full to keep the line low, and it was not.
Yeah, that is a problem. Real lackadaisical approach to filling things up efficiently.
I had slight disappointment in Brooks because he wanted to just ride the horse on the merry-go-round, and it upset me because he could ride the zebra, the dog. They had a monkey with blue jeans on.
Horses aren't gay.
Yeah, the monkey's fun though.
Just spice it up.
Yeah.
Do something else.
I think they should
Well,
have
run
you,
the ball guy should have a boring kid.
I think they should have you stand behind the horse while it goes up and down, and you have to try to figure out whether or not you need a bucket.
I was in line waiting with a woman who told me
Frank
that
Clayton.
she was a psychic.
It's Mayfest.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
How does that come up?
she was quick to tell me about it. And once I found out she was a psychic, I tried to like lure her in to start talking about me. I wanted to hear some things in my future. But she just talked about her life, which divorced.
No way.
I don't know if you're a great psychic if you're divorced.
You didn't see this one coming?
Right.
Could have saved you a little cash.
Did you tell her any of these things or no?
I couldn't get to it. I wanted to tell her some things and
But
hear
she
about
wouldn't
my life, but
Wouldn't shut up.
no, just typical yap, 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 you know what I mean? Smoker.
Okay. She's a
Absolutely.
psychic. What are we?
No, he's just trying to make you nod.
Yeah. Okay.
She must know that not going to die of lung cancer.
Yeah, it's a good point. Or on this carousel.
Right. Yeah, I felt good whenever she walked up behind me.
Finally, a fear-free carousel.
Right. So Mayfest was awesome. And then I was hit with the news last night and this floored me, that the WNBA is about to start again.
Yeah, man.
They just had the draft.
They just had the draft. I feel like their finals was
They had that
2 months
draft.
ago.
Paige Bucher. Yeah, well, no, they have like 3 seasons.
Okay, well, the summer
They're going to have
season-
another draft like in 2
The
months.
summer season is about to start, apparently.
I want to go, but it's crazy expensive.
Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Well, they're flying first class now.
Are they really?
Wasn't that the Caitlin
Yeah.
Clark bit?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that was the whole deal all year. That like
All I know is
Bark-
it's funny that
Barkley
everybody
got
was
all
like,
mad.
I think it's really funny that everybody is saying, oh, man, women's basketball. And then you have the WNBA itself. Like, it's not just this, girl. You got to remember, you forget it. You're diminishing the Asia
Wilson.
You're diminishing the accomplishments of
Chelsea
all these
Plum.
others that built this. And this has been kind of growing for years. So it's not just because of her that our ratings are out of this world. And women's college basketball, but, well, guess what? Women's college basketball ratings this year, we're right back where they used to be,
Oh.
like before Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is awesome. There's nothing wrong with saying it. Like, it's an amazing thing to watch. But, yeah, we don't care about Asia Wilson. In fact, yeah,
But they
maybe
might care about Paige.
They should just let Caitlin Clark fly first class, like, and have everyone else as in coach. And she's just kind of got to look back there at him.
Yeah, there's nothing historically parallel about that at all. I'm fascinated with Paige Buchers because, or I think they're saying Beckers, aren't they? I don't
Nobody
know.
knows.
I listened to the one press conference she did and was like, okay, this is different.
She's like all cocky, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark is super white. And Paige Beck, like, she just seems like a kid who grew up like a baller to me. Like,
Okay.
I believe she has an affinity for hip hop culture that Caitlin Clark does not. Like, I've bought drugs from girls who look like Paige Buchers before.
Okay.
They're wearing like the long polo, baggy jeans. Like, it don't really seem like you're a sexual object. And while you might not be able to kill me, you know someone who could. Caitlin Clark was very like, "Aw, shucks, your girl next door." I think Paige has a girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, indeed, man.
From the wonderful world of sports, Radio Sports Scoreboard.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Although,
she-
honestly, I feel like that can be a problem because we've heard of, like, there have been WNBA relationships. I believe Brittany Griner was in one that got really bad.
Yeah, you need to trade someone or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, you know what's weird is I think you guys want to start stars for sports and hockey.
Actually, I wanted to start with our sponsor, Ownwell.
Own well.
Got an email from Carter
Got an
just over the weekend.
email this weekend myself.
Take a look at that, the copy there on our run sheet. Carter's email says, to say Ownwell works is an understatement. Take a look at what he sent, a screenshot of his address. We won't read that. But he, all you do is you go to what is it? What's the website?
Ownwell.com/thedumbzone.
/thedumbzone. And total saved with Ownwell. You take a few minutes, just pump in like your address and stuff. $4,758.
You could buy Greenland.
That's unbelievable.
Massive savings.
Seriously, I did that. When I did this, it said they'll right away, if they can't save you, they'll know right away. And they're like, look, we can't really save you any money. Okay, cool. So that makes me feel good. A little peace of mind that my property tax, that's, I guess, what it's going to be. Why waste my time? Ownwell, $4,758 for this one guy. And they'll take a slice of that, a smaller slice than any other service will as well. But you got to go, man. The property things are out there now. Most counties, I guess, have them out in the mail. So
Deadline is May 15th.
all right.
And I got a text from a buddy, hey, does Ownwell really work? And yeah, I was using Ownwell before we started doing reads. This is a real thing. It's great. They've saved
Aren't
me
you
money.
the reason? Didn't you tell somebody in our sales hey,
yeah, I don't know.
you should hit up Ownwell. This is a great company. Yeah. We looked for them.
Right.
And so anyway, thank you, Ownwell.
Ownwell.com/thedumbzone. No, I was just gonna tell you guys. I was reading a lot about Mikko Rantanen this morning, and I was not aware. I guess there was a situation in Vancouver this year, because Colorado to Carolina to Dallas, but there was a situation in Vancouver where their two top forwards hated each other so much they had to be split up, which I didn't know about, but it does happen. Like two centers, their two top scoring.
The Sedin twins?
No, they can never be split up. That's a story that I feel like if it were not hockey would have been a bigger deal to us. It's just two guys who hate, and I tried to find out why, and it's just these guys just hate each other. It's not going to get better, to the point where their GM spoke on it.
So they just split them up. They didn't trade one?
They traded one of them.
Oh, they did trade one.
There
Sorry.
was talk of trading both of them. But one of them, I believe, got traded to the Rangers after their GM came out and was like, we probably have to do something about this. These guys hate each other. But
Could be
anyways,
a Rick Manning, Dennis Eckersley situation.
that's the first thing I thought. And was I was trying to figure it out, but it's also the Vancouver Canucks, and I don't care that much.
Yeah.
But Saturday night was amazing. I went back
down
and watched
2-0.
on Sunday. Down 2-0. The first goal was a.
Did you see some of the
short-handed.
stats? Where the Stars are 3 and 30 when trailing after 2 periods, and then they won 3 of their games in these playoffs after trailing after 2 periods. So they won 3 games all year.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
And then to do it against your former team.
A rival and a team rival and your former team, if you're Rantanen, is crazy.
A hat trick. It would have been cool if it wasn't just an empty net at the end, and a natty hattie would have been actually the game winner as well. It wasn't.
That's the only thing that could have made it cooler, because those first 2 goals, those are there's 10 guys in the world. Those are video game goals. The first one is where he just is I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had 10 shots through the first 2 periods, and none of it felt creative at all. When they don't have Robo and they don't have Miro, it's tough sledding out there as far as creativity goes. And that first goal, he just was yeah, here we go, and just skated past everyone, cross ice, and scores. And then the second one, also a video game goal, because that's not supposed to work.
Is that the wraparound one?
Yes, where you're just I'm going as hard into the zone as I can to the corner with the intention of wrapping around. And frankly, if the defender doesn't close the gap with his skate, it's not going in. Rantanen's trying to get that to the front of the net.
Have you seen some of the still shots of that?
His skate is on the board.
Yeah, he's touching the board. This is going to be a goal. At the end of this play, it will be a goal.
Those are awesome.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, but again, it felt like on both those that he was just the only way we're winning. I'm the only good offensive player out here right now. The only way we're winning is if I just do this. And then, if you go to the one to make it 3-2 on the power play, I didn't look at the score sheet, but I'm pretty sure he got the secondary assist because it was just him to Duchesne to Wyatt. And that was awesome. I mean, it was incredible. And the way they locked down. I did want to say that one of the second Avalanche goal, the McKinnon one, that was awesome. You don't see the guy who comes on the ice when the keeper leaves score that smoothly that often. But it was the Avalanche are in the Star zone, and as second as the hand goes up when they show the side, as soon as goalie's on, McKinnon just leaks in, and that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the way it all played out with Rantanen getting 3, getting the 2 they needed, being down, one great early in the series. We haven't talked enough about this story, and the truth is, it's because it happened right after Luka got traded. Everything about the Stars is because of that. I love hockey, I honestly do. If it were a bigger part of our culture, it'd probably be my second favorite sport. But it just isn't.
I wondered, did they make that trade in part because of Luka?
I mean, I think at the time we talked about it as such. Yeah, it made sense.
They kind of they know they could get the DFW market.
I'm way more interested. And I think going forward, because also
hey, this the team we share with, a
The
building, did
the
this terrible thing. Their fans are canceling season tickets. We are kind of here on the cusp. We're good. But, I wonder if there were meetings, saying we should pull the trigger, this is all lining up. Perfect. Because, again, Nico, you have to make some decisions, also include marketing and how much money you can make and your fan, the feelings of your fans. It's not all just X's and O's. Now, if it is just X's and O's, Nico, it's still a bad deal what you did. You traded a quarterback for a tight end. But the
yeah, well, I think those meetings happened because I think Jim Nill's really smart, and I think they should happen.
Yeah. But
hey,
let's make a big splash right now. Let's go after the big name.
And
let's just get it done. It's going to hurt us short term, but
when I had thought about the Avalanche,
long term,
because this is because I'm not that big of a hockey fan. I had just always thought of Cale McCarr, Nathan McKinnon, Landeskog, but I guess I didn't realize that Brandon put up the numbers that he did. But he was also somewhat viewed as he's getting these numbers because of Nathan McKinnon. And, is he really worth $13 million a year if we think that he's primarily getting these points because of McKinnon? That's not even a good way to put it, but that someone else could chip in and do that for less or something close to that. And then also they're looking at Cale McCarr's deal, who I think it's 2027, but they decided we can have two guys who make 12, 13 million. We can't have three. And I remember at the time when the Stars got him being like, what? Okay, he was in Colorado, but that was a month ago. He was in Carolina. What happened? How did this all happen? And I figure if he's going to basically will them to a playoff series win against his former team, I wanted to go and learn as much about it as I could. And it is an insane story because just like you just said, the team marketing, the planning side of it, this is viewed as a disaster in Colorado. A complete
awesome.
A massive.
I like being on the other side of that.
A massive disaster because they basically and they lost the PR game too.
That's the kind of trade you want to make. If you're the Lakers, you're like, man, I can't believe the disaster on the other side.
That's why I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So they say they were uncertain that he was going to sign a long-term deal. He's free this summer, or he was until he signed a deal with the Stars.
Heard that before.
Yeah. Now he says, no, I was willing to work with the team. I didn't need to be the highest paid player. But they do have a tricky spot because Nathan McKinnon signed his deal a couple years ago, and his deal's at $12.6 million a year. McKinnon, I think, ended up signing with Dallas for more than that. So the Avs didn't want to have him making, I guess, in theory, more than McKinnon, and also have to pay Cale McCarr in a couple years. So that's the call they made. But he's a fan favorite. He's a community favorite. He's thought of as a superstar person in the community. Over the last, let's see, since 21-22, he's fifth in points. So we're talking about a verified superstar. And they traded him because they didn't think they could re-sign him, and they didn't want to, they didn't want to lose him for nothing. But PR-wise, it did not work out well for them at all. Now, the weird part is they moved him to Carolina and took it in the shorts for that. They got back Logan Stankoven. Oh, no, wait. We'll hold off on that part because that's the Stars part. They got back Carolina's top scorer and a few picks. But it was basically just that they wanted to get something instead of nothing. They did not get value for him from the terms of what you could have gotten if you had been if he had been signed, which he says he would have done. He says he would have done a sign and trade. Also interesting, McKinnon, for his part, when he signed in 21-22, one of these articles makes note, before signing that deal in 22, McKinnon talked about taking less than market value on a contract that made him the highest paid player in the league in order to, quote, win with the group. So he did take a little less than he could have, but because he took less, I guess now he's selling it as I took less to keep everyone together. That deal did make him the highest paid player in the National Hockey League. So he, the comments from McKinnon were the ones that really stuck out to me because he's like, never in a million years did I think he'd get moved. Landeskog signed his contract. Like, this is my best friend. We won a cup together, and this is basically nonsense. I can't believe they didn't get this done. So, if the Stars don't win in Game 7, the whole narrative is like, I can't believe the Avalanche overcame their horrible management, blowing up their team and its chemistry in the middle of the season. Because guys like this do not get traded in the middle of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But since they lost, now we can be like, the vibes are off. They messed everything up by moving McKinnon's guy. But the crazy part is that he then got moved from Carolina. So apparently Carolina had been looking to get into the mix for a superstar for about 18 months. And they were ready to pay him. They were ready to sign Mikko Rantanen to a long-term deal. So right after he gets traded, Carolina's coach comes out and says he gave us a list of 4 teams he'd sign a long-term deal with, and we weren't one of them. So we thought, why are we even doing this at this point? They moved him to Dallas. They got a pair of firsts, 3 seconds, and Logan Stankoven, who's a good player, prize prospect. So Carolina actually comes out great in this whole deal.
Because they got a better trade than...
Way better. Which, again, right now... Like,
if the Lakers decided to trade Luka,
they would get a better deal.
Yeah.
Like a much, much better deal.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of parallels here. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating from Carolina's standpoint because they're kind of in a position that I was in my head with Luka of like, man, these guys are putting up numbers. Kyrie did he have that resurgence because of Luka? Like, do we really need to pay him $35 million a year? Like, McKinnon's that type of guy where every move they look at, they're like, I don't know, maybe somebody else could hit 40% from 3, and maybe we'll try someone else because we got that guy, and it just worked out to the Stars' benefit in this point.
So it might be that he was making them better.
Yeah,
is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, same thing with Nico.
Yeah.
Look at all these good players we have. We'll just sub out Luka for AD, and no. The Luka was making them actually better.
And the fact that, that he came through against that team in that scenario, you can't write it. So it's a really cool story from a sports transaction background to the fact that the guy just plays like a video game player that you got control of and the rest of the game broke for a minute. It's a fun night.
It seemed like the Stars broke the Avalanche because they were so bummed in the postgame because they were aware that the Stars didn't have 2 of their better players.
And so, you know what? I didn't even mention that part. You bring him in to give you offensive punch, and you're thinking if Robertson goes down, we still have a dude who can get nifty with it. And the fact that he did, and they did it without both those guys, and now you're resting while the other series goes.
You get reinforcements.
That's awesome. This could be very, very exciting.
So there's a lot of chatter, and I don't know, I guess some of it's just playoff hockey, but it seemed like Dallas fans were getting extra annoyed with Avalanche fans, which is a part of it. And the rivalry goes back to the 90s. But it started to, I don't know, I got turned on to the Avalanche radio crew.
Okay.
And like we talked with Nadell and Jared, radio gets to go the whole way. And so these guys, 100 games a year with their guys year after year. And over time, I think it's just pretty natural for the play-by-play guy and the color guy to just become homers. Those are your guys. It's somewhat understandable. Well, Stars fans were on the watch as they were listening to Avalanche radio during the game, and it was all fun and games while the Avs were up 2-0. And then the Stars began to score. So I'd like to bring you Avalanche play-by-play of the Stars' comeback victory.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with goal number 1, Clayton.
Dallas Stars can't do anything offensively. If they're defending in their own zone all the
time.
time.
Look at this, dude.
Rantanen down the slot, and he scores. If you're going to give someone that much room, they're going to make you pay, and the Avalanche laid off of Mikko Rantanen. The pick was actually set by Sam Steele.
Oh,
Okay,
pick.
so
And
pretty
Mikko
pretty
Rantanen gets his
reserved.
10th point of the series. The Stars are on the board. It's 2-1 Colorado.
And I'm going to let you in on a little play-by-play secret. Because I'm an Argyle homer. I want them to win. I'm calling their game, but I want them to win, obviously. When you think that your team is going to win and the other team does something good, you over-compliment them because you know in the end it's not going to matter.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Okay, Avs are up 2-0. There's no way they blow this. Mikko scores against his former team. Hey, great play by Mikko. Okay? All fun and games. Doesn't matter. Goal number 2. Dallas on the power play.
Rantanen holding. Rantanen wants the
Here's the
wraparound.
wraparound.
Throws it in front and he scores. I don't know how.
It went off from Sam Girard.
6:14 to go in the third period. Mikko Rantanen has 2 goals, and it's a tie hockey game. A power play marker for the Dallas Stars, and what was a 2-0 lead has dissolved away.
Wow.
He scores. I don't know how. It was off his
It's wrong.
foot. Off the guy's foot.
You know what? Play that one again because the audio is great, but also the Stars had this happen the other night. It might have been in Game 6 where there was a puck that was like up in the air and then just kind of landed behind Ottinger.
Mhm.
Just the goalie and the defenseman, Gerard, whose foot that went off of, they both just go, oh,
Yeah.
and drop their
Slump shoulder.
It's really funny.
Rantanen through the neutral zone, ramps up across center ice. Rantanen holding. Rantanen wants the wraparound, throws it in front, and he scores.
Oh.
It went off from Sam Girard.
And they're all three just standing there.
Like, no way, from back there?
6:14 to go in the third
All right.
period.
That's
So-
good.
I know what you're thinking. Maybe these guys are just not as animated as we're used to. Okay? Maybe they're just subdued,
Yeah.
easy calls.
Denver.
Let's go back to Game 4 when this is a call for an Avalanche goal to give you a little taste of what these guys are capable of.
Brock Nelson trying to make it not matter. Nelson, the need for speed. Landeskog! Yeah! Oh, Captain! My Captain! Welcome back, Cap! Gabe Landeskog!
That's the first
The
round.
Norse god of hockey has made it 3-0 Colorado. Oh, what a moment inside Ball Arena.
The Norse god
if
of
they ever
hockey.
needed a goal at this moment and for somebody to break the ice there, Captain Gabriel Landeskog catches it on his forehand, puts it just in front of him so he can lean into it. A clapper.
Just so good. Okay. All right. So they got some energy in them somewhere, right? Okay. Let's go to the Johnston goal, the game-winning goal, and see how they how they reacted.
For Harley, doesn't take the shot, back for Rantanen. Down low, wide open, back door, they score. Wyatt Johnston on the power play. Stars have scored 3 straight. They lead 3-2 with 3:56. They go in the third period of Game 7. Officiating has played a role here in the third period.
Oh, yeah, that was
that's-
people were
Yeah.
questioning.
You know that
call, I
game.
guess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, I just love that roller coaster from,
Yeah.
well, we're up 2-0.
Oh, that's good.
Let's go to Winnipeg next round. We can
I
do,
love
let's
it
win
up
the
there.
damn cup. And you know what? Officiating gave it to him. Yeah. they
That's
scored.
very good.
Yeah.
That was a fun time.
How about the Pete DeBoer stat?
Insane.
How about, yeah, I mean, the Avalanche stat's crazy enough, but the Pete DeBoer one's crazy because it transfers across organizations.
He has never lost a Game 7.
I honestly, when I heard that stat yesterday, I was like, we lost. Or Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, dude, I don't want to be on the other end of that.
He's now as far as Game 7s, the greatest winning percentage of any coach in any sport.
Minimum 5 or something.
Red Auerbach was 8-0 in Game 7s.
That's crazy. Hey, can I'll just give you a little brief other sports.
Let's make that brought to us by Qualis Roofing.
My mans.
That is who put on the roof of the Dragon Den. Oh, did they do your roof?
I got a new roof.
Is it all done?
Yeah.
Well,
Got a little drift shake shingle color. Looks great.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't need to.
Damn,
Looks awesome.
son.
Okay, Qualis Roofing.
They put it on, and then they sent up their drone to take a picture of it, and you get the aerial view of your roof. It's pretty awesome.
Whoa.
Well, they'll treat you a little nicer if you mention that you're from the Dumb Zone. Seriously. They have had great luck with the Dumb Zone listener, and so we want you to reach out to them. It's Qualis Roofing, 817-500-9008, or QualisGC.com. Just for having them come out and just take a look, they'll give you a free T-shirt. Then you could tell them to pound salt. Pound sand? What do you pound?
Not salt.
Okay, pound something. And then if you end up getting a roof, they'll pay for a sit-in. They'll have you sitting in studio or the den or a watching party, whatever you choose.
Get that roof inspected. You may need a new one. You know, you're looking at it, you're like, I don't know. Don't let them
They say
figure
you
that
should
out
do that
for you.
every year, but I've never done that. But why not? What if you haven't done it in a couple years?
Call Qualis, 817-500-9008, or the website, QualisGC.com.
Other sports, I just wanted to say, the NBA, how can you have a Game 7 on one night and there's also a Game 1? Doesn't that feel weird?
Of course it does.
There's a Game 1 of the Cavs series, followed by the Golden State series.
It
Golden
happens.
State, kind of funny that they end up winning, and Steve Kerr. Did you see criticism of Steve Kerr for pulling everyone in Game 5 a little early? But that is a Greg Popovich move if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
By the way, no more Pop.
No more Pop on the sidelines anyways, but he will be running the team.
Right, but that's very, very interesting. He's been there for what? 25 years? That's like forever.
You know, the longest tenured now is?
It's got to be Spoelstra.
Yep.
It is Spo.
The video
The
coach.
grizzled vet.
Yeah.
Spo. No, it's funny you mentioned that game because I did not watch Pacers-Cavaliers yesterday as the Pacers beat up on the Cavs because I was busy getting my head kicked in at my sporting event. But my only thing here was that I saw the box score this morning and wanted you guys to see something. So Darius Garland didn't play. Darius Garland is hurt. He has a toe injury, and I saw some. You can put the image up, Clayton. I saw something in the box score that I was unaware of. So you can see down there on the bench, D. Garland did not play left great toe hyperextension.
Is that what they call the big toe?
I'm asking you.
I've never heard of that.
Me neither.
The great toe.
Oh, is it big toe or great toe? Yeah, I guess so. It says,
Or is the second one the great one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, do you have a ring toe?
It says the first toe, also known as the big toe, great toe, or thumb toe.
Weird.
Well, that makes sense. You got your pinky toe. If you've ever referred to it as that.
It says here
Do you have
that
an
one they
index
refer
toe?
to as the. Okay, yeah.
You have an index toe?
It says the middle toe, the index toe is the pointer toe. The fourth toe is four-toe or ring toe. Yeah, I don't know.
So it's just kind of like look at the hand, see if there's an easy transfer. If not.
Yeah, I'd never heard of the great
No,
toe.
neither did I.
It's kind of like a communist
But
thing.
it's
Like,
weird
the
that,
great
yes,
toe.
the NBA somehow has decided
Yeah,
we're going to go with great.
news
Yeah.
to me.
Because they're woke and they don't want to, like,
I was trying to make it a woke
Say
thing
big.
somehow, but I don't know if big is offensive.
yeah,
or
big
what.
just means it's like fat.
Yeah, I
right?
don't
The
know.
great, though.
I'm fired up for Nuggets Thunder. I'll tell you that. I don't really have much of a rooting interest other than, I guess, just not the Thunder.
I'm
But
surprised that the Nuggets moved on, only that I think a lot of people were hot on the Clippers.
they were playing great.
They were playing great. Kawhi was in, like, peak Kawhi form, it seemed like, and it seemed like, boy, this could be the year they do. I don't know. The NBA is kind of fun in the way now that you're not really sure who's going to come out of this thing. I think if Golden State came out, you wouldn't be totally shocked. Like, how about a one last run?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought we had one last run a couple years ago, though, with the one last run Clay. Is this now just Steph's one last run? I don't know. But
Yeah, I mean, it's at least a possibility that makes it nice for a storyline. But as far as the Clippers thing goes, I mean, it's
James Harden.
it's pretty clear what happened there. It's
There's a
James
lot of-
Harden.
I saw on Twitter the whole what's his name? The Brian Damaris rant
Yeah.
on James Harden early this year.
Yeah.
That really is. People are like, "Yep, guess you're right." See, that was a great bit by Damaris.
It was a great bit, and it was funny because last week when Harden was cooking, people were like, "Where's this guy?" And I saw a bunch of like screenshots
Oh, yeah,
of
yeah.
Damaris's rant, and then he
That's the great thing about making any declarative statements in sports talk, right?
yeah.
You're always going to have a chance. You have a chance you're going to be right, but then you'll be wrong eventually.
Just don't talk about those
Yeah.
ever. But man, I don't know. I saw that stat this weekend regarding Harden. I had to look it up.
Was it Game 7 stats
No,
or closeout game?
no, I'm
Oh.
aware of those. James Harden has played in 173 playoff games. He has 4 made field goals or fewer in 55 of those. Nearly a third
That's incredible
of the
for
playoff
a guy
games. That
that
he's
you think about it.
he's a shooting guard.
yeah.
He's one of the best. He's thought of as
But-
one of the best shooting guards of all time. A third of the playoff games, he has 4 made field goals. That's insane. Like that's. I don't know. That's my top 75 of all time would never.
Is he now? Is he one of the guys? Certainly, you're saying best player to never win a championship.
Man, I don't even put him on the Barkley level, and I don't
Okay.
put him on Nash never won, right? Whatever list of
No.
guys, but those guys were. James Harden is the reason his teams aren't winning. Like Dirk wasn't the reason. Barkley wasn't just like the reason.
Right.
Harden is a different level. Harden is like Jay Cutler or something. Like some sort of weird NFL quarterback that you're like, I feel like on the right day that guy could go for 430, 4-1, and he might be able to throw the ball to the moon. But for the most part, like this is my guy. It's probably not going to work.
That run with the Rockets, though, he was.
I know, and it was awesome, but it was also very poetic because what made that team great is also why they lost, which is that they didn't have a second pitch, and Harden didn't have a second pitch.
And how many
27.
3-pointers missed in a row?
27 straight, I think. Fascinating, though. I don't think I have anything else on the sports front.
Bill Belichick remains in the news if this is sports. The report is he's seeking outside PR help now.
No way.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. What's she going to do then?
I don't know, man. The thing that's it, the whole thing is absolutely fascinating to me.
Yeah, because,
'Cause he's Bill Belichick.
His
He's
daughter-in-law
the
is
king of
popping
no
off.
distractions. I can't have any distractions. I don't want you to have any distractions. And now he's got her walking around literally his practices.
I mean, don't take this the right or the wrong way. It would be like you. Like
Because
just,
I've always said you shouldn't have your family at the games, whatever. Just
yeah, like
you
I
wanna
don't
be
want to
able to
hear any of
focus.
this other bullshit. I just want us to
Yes.
get the job done. Do your
But I
job.
hope you would be happy for me, and I'm happy for Bill.
You turn into wife guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. You'd be doing. I've never seen Dan in a photo for social media. I hadn't seen Belichick either, but I would.
Yeah.
I'd see Dan dressed up as a Power Ranger or
On
whatever.
the TikTok.
Yeah.
She's dressed like a salmon.
Yeah.
No, we would
This
dress
is a
like
big piece
something
of
she was
broccoli.
into. Whatever she's, whatever.
A McNugget.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Kids meal.
We'd be dressed up as Logan and Jake Paul.
Whatever that's what she's into.
Yeah, well,
Do you know how much younger she is than Jake Paul, Dan? Like at least 4 years. Like Jake Paul is her senior.
Yeah.
But no, I have that story, man. Where does it go? I just can't wait for football. Like, is she going to be on the sideline, or is she going to be in the? Do they show her in her Cruella baby blue box every week?
But see, the problem is he's boxed himself in because now I don't think he can leave her.
Boy. Yeah, I mean, now interview him now about, okay, you just left her.
Here comes her
What
book.
was that like?
Here
Oh, my gosh.
Here comes her 60 Minutes or her.
And that dick pic he sent is out.
Yeah. Oh, man. He's in trouble, boys.
I don't know if it's real or not, but the New York Post said, like, they're saying she forced her way onto the Dunkin' Donuts commercial. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That one I'd heard.
So, then I saw something else funny on Twitter that's really not. It's kind of sports related, and it's also 100 gorillas, or no, 100 humans versus a gorilla related. Where is it? It was a picture that says, who wins? 100 Don Zimmers versus one Pedro
I
Martinez.
did see this.
Yeah, with like a real shitty AI art of whether they made Pedro way big. Oh, man. I'm going to get a cigarette.
All right, wait. First, let me just mention Lone Star Beer because you're wearing your shirt.
I am, dude. I placed
And I'm wearing
another
my
order
hat.
this morning. Facts. No cap. I got great merch, man.
Is that what your new
That's
girlfriend says?
Not in the copy.
Oh, I don't know. I was just trying to hit a new demo.
So what is it? LoneStarBeer.com. What's the code?
DumbZone 21.
DumbZone 21. Must be 21 or over to purchase, but you get 21% off your merch. Also, they're going to be at Globe Life Field, Section 101 this year. It's the National Beer of Texas Baseball. So, yeah, we love you, Lone Star.
Pool season. That blue can was built for that pool. Lone Star Light. That's what you need for your pool season. Maybe you go on your own little camping trip with the fam. I saw plenty of Lone Star out there on my family camping trip this weekend. It's Lone Star season, buddy.
Reading the copy, they give us hashtags we're allowed to use. Paid partnership with Lone Star Beer. Lone Star Beer promoter. That's what we are. Lone Star Beer partner. That's what I feel more like. So go Lone Star Beer. We think you should go get some.
Yep.
Party. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You think I'm done?
Yeah.
All right.
The Dumb Zone.
Franco and Franco. Dum 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 dum. It's the Dumb Zone.
You guys want some fast food stuff? Cinco de Mayo, we got a lot of things going on. Got a lot of people offering. Great selection out there. Jack in the Box offering free tiny tacos or a meat lover's burrito with a $5 purchase today. Get out there. Can't go wrong with Jack in the Box. Zaxby's launches a new giant chicken quesadilla today. Get out there. Zaxby's, it's slept on. It's not, it's not your familiar chain of chicken, but it's pretty good. I like it a lot. This is something to keep an eye on with Dan's mood. Subway closing stores at an alarming rate comes out after their Q1 reporting. We need to keep an eye on Dan. Keep him in your hearts. At $3 off of beer at 7-Eleven. BOGO on at the Laredo Taco Company burritos. You know the boys, they love a BOGO. Get out there, get some beer, get some tacos, some burritos. And one last thing, I'll give you a little secret pizza order here. E Fratelli. You go with the pepperoni and meatball, and then you go with extra sauce, extra crispy. It's a delightful piece, wonderful pizza, great the next morning, and just need to try it once. Tell me if you like it. Remember, that's pepperoni and meatball, extra sauce, extra crispy.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Let's
Sales
see.
at thedumbzone.com.
Oh, is that what we're going to promote? Yeah, if you'd like to be an advertiser, sales at... Is it thedumbzone? Yeah, sales at dumbzone.com. Not the.
Right.
Yeah, it's sales at DumbZone. I probably screwed up there. It's sales at DumbZone. I had to go to Apple. I had to go to Apple again last night because my computer wouldn't work.
You went to Apple.
I made a Genius Bar appointment.
Oh, the Apple Store.
Told you guys a couple weeks ago that my computer wouldn't charge. My friend took the back off, messed around with it for a little bit, and was like, your computer needs to go to Apple. And then as soon as he put it all back together, it turned on.
So
now I was in just don't let it die mode, which is not where you want to be 2.5 years into owning a computer. But unfortunately, over the weekend, I let it die. So I went to Apple, and I'm like, here's the deal, man. This computer, it was on last night, but now it won't charge. My friend took it apart or took the back off, and then it came back on. He's like, all right. Goes to the back. He comes back 20 minutes later, and he's like, it came on back there when I took the back off and plugged it in. And I go, well, what's wrong with it? And he's like, I don't know.
the back's on too often.
Yeah. I'm like, well, what do I
Need
do?
to take the back off.
Did you run any tests? He's like, I ran all the tests. It's fine. And I was like, all right, well, then I guess I'll see you next weekend.
How about...
Oh, his computer, his car.
No, my thing with you, though, is you let things, like, run out of battery. Like, don't do that. Why? What are you doing?
I don't want to hear it from you.
Why don't you want to hear it from me?
Because your
he's
life
not
is
battery dead guy.
extremely easy.
What?
As far as like
on.
setup wise. Like you're in one place, you have a charger there. My shit is everywhere. It's all over the place. It's in the bedroom, I gotta plug it in. I gotta plug it in upstairs. I don't have an office.
And you have, like, you know what? So these chargers, look how light they are. You can carry them around with you. You can kind of keep it with you.
I was camping. I didn't have the ability to plug my computer in. And I'll tell you another thing. The USB-C charge, nothing. What is that? Just flick that. That doesn't even charge my computer. It has to be the mag strip. And I didn't
But
have
you run out of battery on your phone. Like this happened the other day.
It did.
I was in the middle of talking to you, and it's like he calls me back 10 minutes later. Oh yeah, sorry, dude.
Yeah, you're hard on electronics.
Yep. Yeah. And the reason my phone was not charged that night was because my phone charger was in the living room so that my daughter had a long cord for her iPad.
And you know what I have? Maybe you'll get this way. Because I'm like, stop buying me Superman stuff.
Yeah.
Buy me chargers. So like the seat I sit in to watch TV at night, there's already a charger sitting there.
Yeah.
Next to my bed, there's another magnetic charger.
Dude, when it was time
Up
to
in my
buy a
office?
couch, I lobbied hard for the one that has all that in it.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
They're really expensive, though.
My
Yeah.
car now, that little Prosper Ford vehicle, they come with chargers in there. I think just at Prosper Ford, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Special
anyone
order
else is
for
able to
Mr.
get one.
Ford.
Yeah.
Well, the computer is not my fault. I don't think you should be expected to have your computer plugged in 24/7 when you spend $3,500 on it. One of the features I thought I was paying for was turns back on. I don't know. I don't feel like that's a ridiculous assumption on the
You don't wanna
consumer part.
Check your behavior or like, what did I
Okay,
do
yeah.
to get myself in this situation?
Suits over here that are like, I don't know. Are we sure the customer's not wrong?
Well, everyone else's computers.
Don't let your
doing
computer
okay.
die, dummy. It's $3,000. Anyways, sales at DumbZone.
What if you talk about Lucy for a moment while we get ready for the monthly business review.
I can do that. You know what? I can do you one better. I'll pop a Lucille Ball in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got a
Oh, look at
pack.
that. What flavor you got?
These are new to me. These are wintergreen.
Ah, yes.
That's a wintergreen 8 right there. Nothing goes better, to be honest with you, than this weather and a nice Lucy. You're just sitting there watching Scotty go for records, just enjoying a nice Lucy.
Watching your kid on the merry-go-round. Perfect.
If I'm going to be honest with you, insert any scenario in my life right now. it involves
Camping.
a Lucy. Go to lucy.com/dumbzone. Boy, the wait flew by because of this high-quality nicotine product. It's not owned by Big Tobacco. It's not produced like a product from Big Tobacco. I have tried the other pouches, and they're trash. Straight up. So go to lucy.com/dumbzone. Use promo code dumbzone. You'll get 20% off your first order. Order in bulk. These are better, but you got to order them online. So just order yourself a few packs there. Get you an 8, get you a 12 miggy at lucy.com.
Comb.
Re-rack.
Lucy.com.
Lucy.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not giving anything right today.
That's a mean thing to say.
You messed up our web or everything.
The Lucy hadn't hit yet. Hold on.
All right.
Is your computer?
Now for the fine print, Dan. Go ahead.
I don't have that in front of me.
Lucy products are only for adults of a legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
I'll have to send a text to my friend Blake here.
What? Why?
Here we go. You just tell me yes or no.
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's that time of the month.
Hey, Jake, I'm going to send you
It's
a text.
time for the Dumb Zone's monthly business
I don't want to be in any
review.
of y'all's gay little
And now the
alliances.
king of all note takers,
Lone Wolf.
here's Blake Jones.
Do you want to tell them what the text was, since these guys are all like so?
I don't want to know.
Oh, just so frail.
I don't,
Anything
dude. I'm
for out
over
to
here
get 'em or
kicking
something?
ass. Stars are winning.
The question was, do you want a music bed during this segment? I should have asked him off the air, but
I don't care.
I think you do care.
I do. I don't. Yeah. I don't like to be the only voice you hear. I need music or something.
Okay.
Here we go. Perfect. This is the April MBR. How'd we do, fellas? Our subscription numbers are up.
Whoa!
6 new subbies in the month of April.
Clayton. It pays for itself.
So take the rest of
Up
the day
is
off.
good.
Let's start with the bad bit.
I want a subscription update on all the platforms. YouTube.
No, don't.
I already did that.
That's all fair stuff, dude. You're missing everything today.
Why are you guys so mean to me?
We're up 6 paid subbies.
All right.
That's the good news.
That's all that counts.
The bad bit is, this is from a week or so ago, crowdsourcing opinions on Facebook. I could probably stop there,
Yeah.
honestly. Crowdsourcing opinions on Facebook on how to decorate your yard for your dead kid. Shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a weird appeal, right? And it feels like it was kind of just a remind you that my kid died, but probably everyone remembered.
That's all it is.
And how open to these suggestions are you going to be? Right?
The other one is...
Like if you were like, wasn't your kid really into Molly? you should do a Molly theme. You should do a rave.
Yeah, I think she said something like, my therapist said, and that's just a leading statement. You want people to know you see a therapist. There was a lot wrong with it, which is why it's a bad bit.
Yeah.
We did this for the first time in the last MBR. I want to keep it going. It's our gummy thought of the month. This one actually came from a sit-in, and he wants to look at how we got the name of the state, Indiana.
I think listen, we talked to a couple people from Indiana recently who actually said they didn't think about it, like until someone pointed it out to them. And I certainly didn't. As we were changing all this other stuff, it never occurred to me that there's one up there. If the whole point of this deal is like racism, there's just a state called Racista.
Yeah.
They just added an A to the end of it, and I've never, ever considered that. I don't think of Indiana as like a heavy Native American area, but I guess really everything was.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of their place.
In America, there were Native Americans.
Yeah, I mean,
all
in my
over.
head, I grew up here, and I grew up hearing about my heritage of, that everybody here probably had. And so to me, I'm like, what, fucking Ohio, Indian? But those are all just Indian names. Like Ohio is a native word, right? It's got to be.
Probably, but yeah.
Just sound it out and tell me that.
Cuyahoga.
Yeah.
Whatever that feels like. That didn't come over from across the pond.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because they use the soft A and not a hard R on the end of it.
Okay. Yeah.
Indiana.
Things Dan and Jake want.
This is the want list.
We don't like your kind, Indiana.
Let's go back to April 1st, where we would like DZTV to win an Emmy.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, that's right. We have to submit something, though.
I think you do have to submit.
How about the Nadell thing? Like, we can ride the coattails of others.
Yeah.
So if we book a huge guest or something. Or we break a story. Can we break a story?
Yeah,
what if you send them Jake doing tit for tat at the Luka game?
Why don't we send him Kevin Farley?
Why don't you die? Why don't you fall through your new roof and then have to call them
This
back?
is when we had Kevin Farley on.
God damn, I've been digging out of that hole for a week and a half now. I feel like I've done enough.
He's funny. Wait, just wait.
Dude, leave it to it's Kevin Farley, guys.
April 14th, Jake has always wanted to get into college baseball.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bluff. Just something that
Kind of,
he'd say just to make baseball fans happy.
I can tell you that every year when the College World Series starts, I at least put it on at night. And watch.
Like, I went to
Cool.
college, and my roommate was a college baseball player, and I never wanted to get into college baseball.
No, and I get that, but when I see like LSU in Texas and like all the dudes just look like cartoon character swag lords, it's exciting to me. But the truth is, I feel like Major League Baseball is embracing the bit more than they used to. So,
April 14th, Dan wants Jim Nantz to be fired because he announced his own retirement.
yeah, and it's probably not happening without a
Well, didn't he also announce it like
dead girl. Yeah, he's retiring in 2035.
8 years from now? Yeah.
Right.
That's why I ended up looking up the Kareem
Retirement
tour gift list.
The funniest possible outcome.
Where is that?
By far. And I don't know what the deal is. It's probably not a deal. It's probably a year-to-year handshake. But the funniest outcome would be that CBS loses the Masters.
No, I want him to get fired because, yes, just like Brent Musburger back in the 80s or whenever got fired. And there was only back then too, it was like you were just the guy. There was one guy at each network that you knew was the guy. Bob Costas at NBC, Brent Musburger at CBS. I don't even think there was a Fox yet.
Well, it was, yeah. I mean, you might have thought of Al Michaels almost as ABC.
ABC,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, Musburger all of a sudden just gets – because he was on every event they had. So if they had golf, if they had if NASCAR, whatever they had, he would be the guy that was there. That used to be Bob Costas. If they had the Olympics, he's there. And, yes, Musburger got fired. So, yes, that would be so great. Because when you announce your retirement 8 years from now, you're kind of saying, well, now you have to sign me for another contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm Jim Nantz. Who could ever – replace Jim Nantz, so please.
What if they cut his salary in half? You said you'd work here for another 8.
That's right.
And it's just to keep Romo.
Yeah, it's because Romo's so good.
He's another raise.
We're just doing to you what we did to your partner Phil Simms, and you really raised no stink about that at all.
Yeah.
Guess you guys were good friends.
Jake wants to do indoor paintball, and Jake also wants to be a part of a crossover event. So we'll work on those.
Yeah, maybe we were on Saturday. We announced Cirque is coming back with not many details. But, yeah, the paintball thing, there's a lot of movement.
Don't
I feel
you
like
think being on Noviello's show, is that a crossover event or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that works.
Well, good for you.
You felt electric.
Time capsule.
Only one from this month, and it comes to us from April 22nd. Jake wants to compare who is more famous in 10 years, him or Rashee Rice. Just something I'm keeping up with.
I don't think that's a horrible one for at least intrigue, right? Because things are not looking up for him right now.
No.
And I'm not saying they're looking up for me, but they're more up than they were 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're also just kind of like, you'll probably still be here.
Probably at about this.
Yeah.
Now, people are going to remember the name, like, oh, yeah, wasn't that such and such? But I don't think he's going to be like, you know, he's not going to the Hall of Fame.
No.
He's going to be out of the league in 5 years, probably. I would say that's about the.
But it's a good one.
But just having been in the league, does that keep him elevated above you for the rest of his life?
Yeah. And it might. But I got a big decade planned.
This could be the decade of Jake.
And by the way, he went to the same high school that I did.
Yes.
This is the impetus of this.
So I agree with you. You are killing it. However, we did not get a unique Kim spin in the month of April.
Wow. Have we seen the end of the earth?
Maybe. You're up to 538, 0 new in April.
Maybe hit me with a quiz in the next month or so and see where I am.
Do you want to remind people there's kimspin.com if you'd like to take a random spin on the Kim spin wheel. Let's see. Anchored phrases. This kind of hit me hard because I've been saying it wrong the whole time. It's wreak havoc.
Yep.
It still doesn't sound right.
You thought it was wreck?
I thought it was wreck havoc.
That
means you're well read.
It is one of those words that it should not be the way that it is. I heard the Musers actually kind of making fun of this the other day. Like Gordon was doing his bit, and it was like they were talking about grammar. And it was like, oh, you care about grammar, old man? It's just an old man thing like you care about. And doing the bit of like, oh, every young person doesn't care about anything older. And just, am I a skateboard man if I sit here and say today that why do we need it?
Why do we need what?
Why do we need grammar? Everyone knows what you're talking about. Like when you trip up over me and I and you, are we post-grammar?
Do you think we're heading that way?
Well,
is it for... I don't know. I'm trying to decide what is it for. Like, why do you need to spell correctly?
The general idea is that so that everyone can communicate, because for a long time, they wouldn't get the gist. They needed to know pretty clearly, I would imagine.
So for a while, though, we've...
Yeah. I mean, I think with text talk and, you know, your daughter's inability to use a word.
You just want to change it, all social norms.
I'm asking questions.
You're the Trump of talking. Right? Like, it's just like, whatever. I'm going to do it this way, and that's it.
I think if things get done, it's fine, right? I don't know.
I feel like spell check has got to be hurting the ability of kids to spell. Don't you think?
It's hurting mine.
Okay.
Yeah, and predictive text.
I shouldn't be still doing I before E except after C when I'm writing for a professional magazine, but I do. Profile or breakdown of Jaden Blue coming this week.
Dan fights with his wife.
Yes.
Only one. And it was, she did not run the dishwasher one time while he was out of town.
Oh, my God.
That's your job, dude.
How many times I walked in at 2 a.m. after a Stars trip, and the sink is full of dishes and the dishwasher's full but not run.
Yeah.
Huh? You're a dish guy.
That's what you do.
I see your
like,
point.
yeah, you're making me, you know, jerk off. That's supposed to be what you do.
So when would you like to fulfill any of your obligations?
That's right.
You can't. I don't know. I'm standing here with my own food. I'm standing here with my own unattended to cock, and I'm standing here with all these dishes. So let's pick one.
Yeah.
And
she rode that riding lawnmower when I was gone, though.
Yeah. Yard does look good.
She made sure that.
Yeah, for some reason, the HVAC company was there every day, like all 4 of them.
Dan falls in love. I've got down.
Ooh. So, update on that.
Okay.
Can I just throw one in the middle of it here?
Absolutely. I love these.
Because it's not like this is apropos of nothing, I guess you would say. But I feel like I'm in love with female TV producers.
Oh, so you can just call dibs on her?
Behind the scenes TV girls, I've just noticed there's a lot there.
Well,
Like, you're not the ditzy on air person. You know, you got here.
that's all this is.
You're working
grinding.
hard. You're grinding. It's kind of like, you know how you're always attracted to the Hooters manager. Now in that game, they used to be on the floor,
Right.
but they were so smart they could be the manager. Now you're like, oh my gosh,
It's like a madam.
this is unbelievable.
Or
yeah,
the escorts manager.
yeah.
She was a great escort. Now she manages.
Also known as a madam.
That's what he just said.
Okay.
I don't want to hear it from you today either.
I've been listening to everything you said, and you can't prove that I haven't without using him. And he's not going to help you.
Yeah, the madam is what you want. There are other versions of escort bosses, but you're not as attracted to them.
But it's not the same. It's not quite the same analogy. But I'm just saying, I'm not here for the floor model or what you think is the best model. I'm actually thinking this one is a lot better. And yeah, I'm in love. But I don't even know if we're talking about the same person because I think it was when I was parking I fell in love today. But go ahead.
I also have written down here.
She's also American, white American, not
Indian.
Yeah, not.
Just stop. Go ahead.
Kate Baldwin.
Ooh, Kate Baldwin. I'm recently newly in love with her.
Well,
She's
I mean,
on camera.
I'm going to be honest. I had. Do you guys remember? Was it Steve Phillips, the Mets guy?
I've heard of him. Yeah. Well,
yeah, he was the GM of the
GM?
Mets, and then he was on Baseball Tonight. He was on Sunday Night Baseball. I think it was him and Harold, and because Harold was dealing with his own shit. But Steve Phillips got like obsessed with the production assistant. She was a big girl too. Like she was a younger, sturdy-looking mid-20s lady, and he like completely lost his mind over this woman and like ruined his whole life.
Oh, really?
And I think she was like driving her car into his yard and stuff.
Ooh,
yeah, it was hot. But I always respected him though. You know, because he was like the on-air guy, and it's like, nah, he's not creeping on like, you know,
the
next on-air lady.
Wasn't that a power dynamic thing then? That
it's probably not okay.
Yeah.
But I just respected that it was like he did not.
Like, why did I get this power if not to use the dynamic? What are we doing here?
Again.
Well, I'm supposed to respect you. Like
that's the ultimate white privilege trump card you play too, right? When you're like, well, I mean, what am I'm not gonna waste it.
Yeah, it's not my
I'm gonna
fault.
use it.
It's just society.
Yeah, okay, so I'm supposed to tell the judge, no, actually, I'll do 3 times that much time?
It's ridiculous.
You wouldn't either.
Jake has a buddy who doesn't drink anymore but wants to skydive for his 40th birthday. Jake has a buddy who had miniature horses. Jake had a buddy who bitched about being a Little League umpire. And we'll end with this.
General notes from the show.
This was left over from March, but I feel like it needs to be brought back up. Because if you'll remember when we did the remote out in Aledo, we talked to a guy in closing remarks who was on Married at First Sight.
There are so many people we've talked to that I'm like, we got to get him on again.
Right.
And that's one of the main ones.
We got to get this guy on.
Yeah, he's on the list.
Okay.
Hey, Clayton, I put a photo in there. I'll text you.
Okay.
No, whatever. Whatever you were.
April 1st, Jake had to pick Dan up from his walk in the neighborhood because Dan encountered a wild horse.
Oh, that's right. I was late getting back.
Which got me thinking about another list, Dan's other jobs.
Yeah.
Do you think Dan could break horses?
No.
No. Not a chance.
Hey, come on.
I don't really know what goes into it, but I know that there's not a lot of, well, kind of whatever you think.
So is
Whatever
this
you
me
want. I don't
now or me ever?
I guess kind of now.
Because me now, I would say anything outside, I don't think I can do. I can't have a job that's outside based.
Yeah, I mean, I
need
shouldn't
some
BS
AC.
myself. I think I could, but I couldn't.
Like, I need to be inside. Like, I can't be outside.
But the horsebreaker guy's not out there all day. I mean, he is when he's doing that. It's not like I just don't imagine
too
that's
much
a 12-hour
His
day
main job,
every
though,
day.
is being outside.
That's
I can't
true.
do that.
Can you stop
not-
bucking, please? Just
Come
let me
on.
put this saddle on.
Like, if you said we had to do our show outside every day and it was only 3 hours a day, I'd say no.
Yeah.
That's my main job. Can't be outside.
I love hiding behind that.
What,
Me?
Dan?
So when
Hey,
somebody's wanting us,
we'd have you out on the patio by the pool. Nah, I don't think Dan's going to like that. But internally, like, no, I don't want to be out there.
and I've told you, blame me.
Yeah, I've used it. The same day, Jake got double birded by his neighbor.
Yeah, did you guys ever
No. I've
interact after that at all?
I mean, I've seen her a couple times, and I feel like
Are you
she
in love?
knows. No.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe
No,
maybe
she
something
runs.
brewing there.
She runs a lot.
Well, you're out there exercising. That's early.
Not into runners, man. Again,
You and the wife been in an argument.
if you
She's
find me, if
exasperated.
you're trying to show me the lady who runs 10 miles a day and gives me the double bird holding a water bottle thing because she thought I was too close to the curb when she was running, no, I'm not interested. She's a very fit lady. She looks like she, runs 10 miles a day, but I'm looking for somebody who can go 4 for 5 in the Big 12 tournament with like a 1,200 ops, not somebody who can run 10 miles. I need a base.
I saw something online this weekend that was insinuating that if you're in a runner's club, you're a swinger.
That's like a rumored thing. Yeah.
Really?
But that goes for like CrossFit too. Exercise groups are notoriously horny. Think about it.
Really?
It's a bunch of people who are trying to look better, getting together to look better.
So my exercising.
I mean, you
alone
remember
thing-
like there was a Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm pretty sure, got dick down at her CrossFit gym and lost her husband over it. Those people be boning, man.
Yeah.
Big time.
April 3rd, Dan waved to a Waymo.
Like thanking your AI chatbot.
Because it let me cross the street.
That's funny.
And then the next day, Dan may have stopped a gas station robbery by sauntering around.
I replayed that scene in my head. Now, I was high. I'm not going to lie to you. We were out with the fellas. I was a little baked, but there was a guy in a ski mask walking into a gas station we were walking into. So maybe I was being paranoid, but the guy was shifty, had a mask on, and I'm pretty sure he was about to stick the place up. But Dan, also in his early birds, just kind of slowly walked right into the middle of the caper, and me and the guy from the store just kind of watched the guy walk out. He turned around and walked out.
I told my wife at least your perspective of it because mine was different, It was just, I don't know. I just walked in the store and Jake was looking real weird. And then she just nodded and goes, yeah, you don't pay attention to anything. You never know what's going on. I didn't. She's like, you could ask the girls, ask your daughters, whatever. Like, this is a thing we talk about. I'm like, oh.
And, I'm sure my family does it to me, whatever. But I do experience that sometimes with you, and that's fine. I'm pretty sure it's why I'm alive to tell this tale today.
April 17th, Ted Emmerich reports that Jim Nance orders his toast twice burnt and calls it Nance style.
That you should be fired for that.
And he has a card, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't he have
had a laminated card with a
that he'll
picture.
hand to the waitress that says,
make it like this.
yeah.
Here's a visual aid.
What a dork.
I'm
And you
kind of
know
on
he just
board with
says
that.
it. I'm not super shocked by that. It's a simple way to get it right. He's
Because,
just trying to get
yes,
it right.
he's asked 100 times. They always get it wrong.
But you're not
You would
calling it
never
Dan
call it-
style.
I don't think I would
style.
call it Dan style.
Big Mac style. I'll take toast. Nance style. You know he says it like that, too.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
April 21st, we put out the call for wild girlfriend dad stories.
I got a couple.
Okay, I want to hear some of those.
All right.
Let's see. Jake thinks there should be an
Apparently he
app.
doesn't want to hear no.
No, I don't want to waste it here.
No, fine. Yeah, whatever.
Jake thinks there should be an app that syncs your windshield wipers to the song you're listening to. Jake thinks he can take down a cow. April 25th, we come up with the Lotus line, which is how long is your jail sentence? How long would it have to be before you would kill yourself?
Dude, I'm telling you, after I talked to the guy who did 18 months, 2 years on Saturday, He's the one who told us about conjugal visits. I met him on Saturday. He's thriving. Got a good job.
Yeah.
He never got beat up.
No.
Never. I mean, if he had sex, that means it was consensual. And if you missed Saturday's show, he was like, you have a job. You work that from 8 to noon. They pay you 12 cents an hour. He's like, I cleaned a chapel for 4 hours a day. He's like, rec time was just the afternoon. So I would play basketball or lift weights or slow pitch softball. He was telling Blake. He's like, and then you just hang out. He's like,
so it's like rehab.
And I said to him, I was like, okay, am I crazy for thinking that the scene I was in is not that different? Like, you're safe, but you can't do what you want. And he's like, it's the same.
But it wasn't maximum security prison.
No. It was, I think he got arrested for providing alcohol to minors in his early 20s, and he did 18 months.
We had a sit-in that tried to go blow for blow against Jake and Kim Spins. Jake very easily took him down. He's still the king.
It looks easy, kids.
Yep. Yep. April 28th. Jake didn't know your key fob has an actual key in it.
We're moving on. It's not that I...
What's the name of it? What'd you say? What's it called?
A key fob.
A key fob. What does it have in it?
A key.
Oh.
And there's your April.
It's right in there?
You guys are the worst.
That is the monthly business review. We also have the monthly Blake review.
Oh, is this you skydiving?
Yeah.
There's a picture of Jake.
I put one photo in there for you guys to see how high up there I was.
Cramming it right in his
He's
behind.
Just railing you.
He is.
Yeah, that's what it kind of
Anton.
looks like.
Yeah.
Can we Photoshop that into a different...
And you're sort of into it?
I'm like, oh, this feels different.
So just a couple, it's a really long email, but you guys told me to edit, and Alec seems cool with that, but he sends us this, he keeps extensive notes on Blake.
Dude.
Waste of time.
Extensive notes. He noted that on the 21st of April, Blake was late to work, and this burden weighs heavy on him.
Yeah.
That was a tough day.
No, we got through it.
Blake's been showing signs of 2023 Jake, or 2020, whatever. I'm just on watch. So, but you still have the phone number and everything of that place, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blake did not announce his wife was pregnant on the 24th.
We're having a kid.
I love that bit. Jake, I think, is still a little bothered by it. But the fact that you just never told anybody, and your calculation is correct. My wife will tell so many people that it'll trickle out to my friends eventually.
It got to y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not commenting.
See?
Holding it in.
He's still mad.
I don't know. It's crazy for me to think that this, you've got this entire world of friends, and you and just two of your friends leave. You make this big story about it, and you're like, well, these are my two best friends. I'm going to go do this with them. And he's got a son, and he's bringing him to my house. We're talking. Oh, yeah, I'm having another kid in 3 months. It's going to drastically affect the show. Hope you can figure that out on social media.
The only one part that's a bother is that it is going to drastically affect the show. It's like right in the middle of where we would be going to Cowboys training.
When
camp.
would I have known if my wife didn't have an Instagram?
Would he have told us if we were scheduling training camp?
When? We've been talking about it.
They don't have dates for training camp yet. We don't know.
But
when does she do?
Yeah, right in the beginning of August.
And when do we go to training camp? It's the beginning.
Maybe
if anything,
maybe they have the Hall of Fame.
Anyway,
game.
Blake, run the ball guy this month. This is, and just a couple quickies. Blake doesn't like Austin.
Yeah, a little weird.
Little weird. That's the best. My dad hated Austin growing up. He's like, well, I don't know what's going down there. Fucking hippies. Your aunt's moving down there. I heard that makes sense.
Yeah. She'll fit in there.
It was the aunt that's moving.
That makes sense.
Hippie, that makes sense.
She'll be back.
She'll be back as a big player. Yeah.
And Blake is anti-water because he almost drowned. So is this...
Yeah, people pee in lakes and stuff. You don't want to be in that. It's gross.
So you won't go in a lake?
No. Y'all have fun.
Now, listen, he's not... It's weird for someone from Texas, but as someone who was around people from not Texas at a lake over the weekend, we need to be clear that these are not lakes that we're getting in. These are
they constant level lakes?
These are reservoirs dug by men.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were asking me about it. They were like, are there snakes? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of snakes. You just can't see them because the water's brown, because this is a mud hole, not a lake like where you might be from elsewhere.
Yeah. Go jump off your boat. Yeah, have a great time.
Yeah. So it's not crazy on Blake's part. It's just Blake.
Well, pick a lane and bless my star. Mr. Jones's MBR. People listen near and far to Blake Jones's MBR.
Monthly Business Review.
You know, that reminds me about one-day doors and closets.
I was thinking the same thing.
When you talk about lakes, that makes me think of the doors in my house.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an email from Ryan last week that said, listener number 190 here, I had one-day doors come out thanks to the Dumb Zone telling us about them in between sports and mostly comedy segments of my favorite podcast. Anyways, Soup's positive review. I've been led to believe it would take 1 day to install 7 doors in my house, but it was actually only a couple of hours, 22 hours less than expected. They are great. That is from Ryan. And 1 day doors and closets, that's their bit. They'll come out to your house and replace all of the interior doors in 1 day. It'd be great.
It's a genius bit, because you think about like, oh, I got to remodel my house. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to give it a little life and pop. Maybe it's just the doors. Maybe it's just the doors. Start there. onedaytexas.com/promo30. Buy 1 door, get 2 free, I believe is how we say that.
No,
buy 1 door, get 2.
You're going to get 1 free, but you're going to get the one that you paid for the money.
So you buy 1, get 2.
You could say they have a 2 doors half off.
You could.
Sale.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
It's whatever works best for
but
you.
They say BOGO. I just feel like that's not right. You buy 1, you get 2.
Mm-hmm.
You don't buy 1 and get 1.
Nope.
Anyway. Go finish your...
onedaytexas.com/promo30. Get those doors changed out, man. What are you doing with those doors?
Idiot.
Family hadn't respected you in years.
Have those hollow doors.
Here's Jay.
They don't look like new art.
Dumb Zone News.
Well, there's a number of different directions we could go here today. Let's start with election news. Our friend Harper Weaver, who ran for school board in Plano, did not win.
He didn't ride the wave of
Doge?
The Jake interview.
Oh, no.
Boy, this will...
No.
This isn't fair. You guys should give equal time. He's got all this publicity.
Yeah, right. Did somebody say that?
No, I'm...
Oh, okay. They might have. No, Harper did not win, our good friend Harper, but I talked to him Sunday morning, and I was just like, man, I'm proud of you. Like, this is cool. He found something he's into. He doesn't really need to work right now. He was running against an incumbent first time. So he was like, man, it's a learning experience. I'm going to figure this out over the next couple years and try again.
You know what's weird, though? Like, what was I saw Philip Kingston tweet this out. I think it was Wiley, actually. What was it?
God, it sounded like Michael Barbaro. I'm sorry.
What? Who's Michael Barbaro?
Drives me
from the Daily.
Nuts.
You talk, and I'm going to let you know that I'm listening. Talk.
Well, it was about Wiley, and he was looking at the different things that they were voting on, like Proposition B and, Proposition A, things like that.
You just do that a lot.
Anyway.
He's even addressed it before, which I find incredibly annoying. He's like, people don't like me doing that. I'm letting – shut up.
These council members were voted on and chosen by 27 people. Went to vote. And so, it looks impressive. Like, oh, Todd Pickens won 51% to somebody's 48.1. He had 14 votes, and the opponent had 13.
Tight race.
Well, for example,
you could have changed the whole because you didn't vote. There's absolutely no way.
No.
Your household, if they voted, could have swung every election on this school board. or whatever board thing.
God, that's awesome.
For a school board, for us, for
This
example,
it was city council, I think.
the contested spot for school board in our city got 13,000 votes, or a little about 12. And the lady that I was hoping would lose narrowly did. The Release These Doves lady lost 51-49. I don't actually know that much. This isn't Grapevine. I know not everybody cares about this, but the GCISD thing was kind of interesting just from a larger – it's kind of what's happened in Keller and Colleyville. Other schools have seen like this Patriot Mobile thing, right? It's these extremely conservative candidates. They primary people or they get other conservatives voted out of city councils and school boards. They did very poorly over the weekend. Essentially, it looks like all of their candidates are getting beat. And the guy that beat her in Grapevine, I wanted to actually meet this guy. I didn't get a chance to, but I read his I read his campaign website. And it's kind of funny because like when I tweeted about her losing over the weekend, people were like, certainly you've ushered in your communist, liberal socialist utopia. I was like, you go to this guy's website. He's a fourth-generation Texan from Amarillo. His wife's a 15-year teacher in Grapevine. He's active at White's Chapel Methodist Church. He went to Baylor. Like, this guy's the most boilerplate conservative. He's just a professional, though. Like, I look at this guy, and I'm like, okay, this guy, he was PTA president. No, I'm not getting AOC of Grapevine over here, but I don't care. I just want somebody who takes it seriously and doesn't think it's a bit and, like a glamour shot. And that's what made me happy there.
So I was reading something about like Australia had some voting.
Yeah.
And they didn't go for the hardcore
conservative.
Yeah. They were saying, but then this article was saying, well, they have compulsory voting.
Do they in Australia?
What does that mean?
It means you have to.
So like everybody, and he's like, that's part of the reason why. Like if we made everybody vote, that the elections would be different.
Well, in general, and this may be changing, but in general, there is generally, very redundant, been a thought that the more access to the ballot, that in this country, left-leaning candidates would win more. Because historically, the Democratic Party has had minorities on lock and poor people on lock for the most part. And those people don't vote as much as rich and old people because they don't have, I guess they view it as they have less stakes in the game. I don't know. There's a million reasons why. But the thought has always been that the more people that vote, that it would impact more people. Whereas right now, the voting block is heavily overrepresented by the people who have.
So older and wealthier, you're like, I want to protect what I have, so I need to vote for these policies
you also
that will probably not help the poor people so much.
You interact a lot with Medicaid at that age, so like drug prices are super important to you.
Yeah.
Things related to your pension.
Yeah.
So those people vote a lot.
Okay.
I guess I'd forgotten Australia has compulsory, but there's downsides to that too, right?
Well, yeah, because I always used to say like I didn't want to vote because I don't know anything.
Yeah,
like I want to somehow be able to leave it to people who actually know things about issues, but that's not the way
democracy.
It's just not the way democracy. It's just not the way. Also, these parties are able to win elections. They don't win elections based on people being very knowledgeable.
No.
They win them based on firing people up about stuff.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do this another day then, because the lady who lost in Grapevine, Tammy Nakamura, her episode of Wife Swap.
Naga.
Wired Will sent me the not going to work here anymore at 5 a.m. on Sunday. Okay. That's actually how I found out about the election results.
That's awesome.
I want to play some of, I told you there's a video of her on Wife Swap, and I talked to a bunch of people who who knew her from back then. They were just imagine if one of your buddy's moms was on Wife Swap. like in the early 2000s.
It'd be so awesome.
And it's so funny. We'll play it later this week because she goes to a black family. A black lady comes to her house in South Lake. It's amazing, but it's going to take us a little bit of time. Speaking of politics, because we just can't stop, a Texas bill known as the Furries Act would ban non-human behaviors in public schools. The author of that bill is Stan Gerdes, Representative Stan Gerdes. So he was in a committee meeting last week where he's trying to get this bill passed, and he was unable to provide any actual examples of this happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he was pressed on that. He called, let's see, I was informed that this was happening in districts across the state, that they do not have tools to prohibit these types of distractions. However, during a follow-up school board meeting, the district provided a release debunking those claims. And then when asked last week directly about students using litter boxes at schools, he said he could not provide an example of a case where it had been confirmed. He said, what really is, though, is we just want to help them have the tools to get some of the distractions out of the classroom so we can get back to teaching time and stop the distractions. Galaxy brain move here.
Is that why we're giving out so much homework?
The galaxy brain move is to create a distraction, and then you have a news story where you're like, I'm just trying to get rid of these distractions so the kids can get back to learning. And
it's like the eating dogs eating the cat's bit.
You just, yeah.
Right? It's like, well, it may not have been factually true, but yeah, we do want to focus on the fact that blah, blah, blah.
A Democratic Party representative from, you guessed it, established the run guy, Austin, said Texas librarians are not grooming kids, Texas teachers are not indoctrinating kids, and Texas schools are not providing litter boxes. I think the most disappointing part about all this is I think you all know that.
Like, it's Texas, bro. That's the thing. That's what's kind of funny.
It is funny, dude.
To see the...
Like, okay, if it were Vermont,
the hardcore conservative calling other conservatives the rhinos. And
oh, yeah.
Like, it's... Like, we've got this game so much in hand. Now we're arguing about should we win it at home or win it on the road. Like,
yeah.
Like, we know we're going to win no matter what.
Man, I got a taste of that yesterday at the end of the game. I forgot about doing this shit to people because we do it sometimes. And in my 20s, I would have loved it. I don't love it now. But by the end of the game yesterday, they were like, they clearly had 2 or 3 like trick plays they hadn't practiced. And they were like, why not now?
Yeah.
And I hate that feeling.
And you,
and I'm like, look, and just do it, dude. But with this act, this bill that was put forward by the Republican representative, I almost think he should be able to pass this with no evidence at all, just because he came up with the Forbidding Unlawful Representation of Role-Playing in Education Furries Act. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, that's a home run. You came up with a furry acronym, and it makes sense. Like, it doesn't even feel like a stretch.
That is pretty good.
I feel like he should be he should be good on that alone. Let's see here. Ooh, sad story. We'll see if Poppy's available. The Midlothian Fire Department posted on Facebook over the weekend, Blake, that its dog, Riggs, escaped from Station 1.
There I'm doing it again.
It's very sad right now. We feel like we've lost a member of our family.
Well, he just got out?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is
a news story. A fire department's dog got out. That's the news story.
They never found it back?
No.
Never got it back?
No. What are you just doing? A bunch of mid-segment hat changes? What are we doing?
Well, I'm going to read a Tito's spot in a little bit. I didn't want to wear the Lone Star beer hat while I was wearing it, but
yeah, that's cool.
You want to like point out everything I do, and then we have to talk about it overtly.
He was looking at you too. But I am actually glad that we're on video today, because we had some big news. I misspoke there, Clayton. But the video, did I put it in?
Don't play this.
What?
Don't.
I'm putting.
How do you know what he's going to play?
It's Herb Street's new stupid dog.
Oh, he Freudianed
Yes.
when he said Ben News?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's what, Ben's half brother or something?
Yeah, dude.
Great.
Are you surprised? Are you guys surprised he didn't get Ben cloned? Because Barbara Streisand just cloned her one dog she loved, and she's had like 8 of the same dog.
What happened to Peter?
Yeah. I don't know.
Ooh. Already out of favor, huh?
Guess so.
Well, Peter's here. I put the video in, Clayton, but you don't have to. The tweet says, meet our newest member to the crew. This is Bo. Born January 19th, 2025. We've had him for a few days now. He's doing awesome. Looks like he's going to be a monster. Same dad as Peter, so obviously half brothers. Peter and Bo were wrestling all day. Let's see a new mascot of your favorite sport there, Blake. Do you have anything to add?
You know, just every kid's dream to like walk the field at Darrell K. Royal or go to the national championship game if you're a huge college football fan. Now this stupid mutt will just get to get in every press box. He'll be on every ESPN show. He'll fly first class to every game. And you're going to be sick of him.
Yeah, he's going to be shoved down your throat.
How great would it be if Bevo stepped on him?
I think you mean Beefy.
Beefy.
Let's see here. We'll do one more. Grand Saline, Blake?
Mm-mm.
Man, there was a time. Grand Saline and Salino might have been the first.
I can give you Bobcats.
Bobcats is easy. Might have been the first game I went to that was like not a team in my area. Like that
Where
I
was
traveled. It was. You know what? I didn't travel that far. It was somewhere. It was in Fort Worth.
Because if you thought getting to Frisco was another planet, up to Salina must have been.
It was. It was like either a playoff game or a neutral site game because it was around the holidays. And I believe either Salina or Grand Saline ended up on that MTV show. There was like a reality show about being a high school football player in Texas. You didn't watch that at all?
True life. I'm a high school football player.
Yeah, because they did it in Alabama, I want to say, too, with like John Parker Wilson was the quarterback. Anyways, we had a murder. And we had a murder and then a failure to appear for a murder down in Van Zandt County in Grand Saline. So Trevor McEwen did not show up for court today on a murder charge out of Kaufman County. He removed his ankle monitor. He is on the run. As of like this morning, you just got a guy wanted for a 2023 murder. He was supposed to appear in court this morning. Waits till the morning of, which I guess you have to. You don't want to give him a head start. But like at 9 a.m., you have a court appointment for a murder. You cut the monitor off, don't show up, and now you're just on the go. So that guy right now is about 6 hours into running from a murder case.
So, okay, let's plan this out. It's a murder case, so if convicted, you're going to go to hard prison. So now you're in a thing of, all right.
Yeah.
I kill myself or I go through the trial and take a shot. Whatever. But what's his name?
McEwen. Kevin?
Okay, sounds like a name that could get
Trevor McEwen.
Yeah, sounds like a name that might get off.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, you're talking to your lawyers, and they're kind of giving you the look. I don't know. Looks like they got you. We're just going to plead for certain time. Now you're thinking, okay, let's plan now. You got to get everything in a row because once you do cut that, they know right away.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to be able to bolt immediately. Like, so where do you go? You know, what? It's very interesting.
Yeah.
You've had a while to kind of plan it.
Yeah.
This isn't just a on the run right now, right? Escape from prison, and I just don't know. Like
a year and a half at least to think about this.
Yeah.
It's 2023.
You know, you're getting cash. You're getting.
Yeah.
You're getting a new like a burner phone with, you know, so you can still get online and stuff. But
while he does have the name and complexion that you might think could help him beat this charge, A quick read on his intelligence might lead you to believe otherwise. So this happened in 2023. He shot a 35-year-old man. Well, he's alleged to have shot a 35-year-old man who was his neighbor that he was beefing with. So that happened in May of 2023. This guy is arrested, charged. He's awaiting trial. While he's awaiting trial out on bond, back in September of 2024, he posted photos of the guy he killed and that guy's uncle to his Instagram account and threatened to shoot the uncle. Like, put a photo of the deceased and the uncle out there. And I don't know what the caption was, but it sounds like it was like, "You're next." He was rearrested for that. Turns out that's a violation of bond in a murder case, bragging about the murder and your next victim. So, CBS says that it all came from the fact that this guy like hates Mexicans and his neighbor was Mexican and that they just had beef. But this guy, I'm excited to follow up on this story tomorrow. Just reading the tea leaves, I don't give him like a DB Cooper like chance. But maybe he's listening right now. Maybe he fired up.
Maybe he's doing those things to throw you off, to throw off the cops. Like, oh, this will be an easy one. I'm not even worried about it.
I like that kind of a Kaiser Sose thing, right? Like,
yeah.
Just at the end. We'll check back on Trevor in tomorrow's news.
That feels like you're closing things out.
Yeah.
The Dumb
All
Zone
right, let's see what's next here.
Like
Grand Saline
and
Indians.
Subscribe.
Of course.
Doing a few viewer mail birthdays first, and we'll make this brought to us by Frankel and Frankel.
Frankel.
I might have thrown you off. You thought, oh, this guy's about to do a Tito's spot. Nope. I'm just going to mention that Frankel and Frankel are personal injury lawyers. They are for you. A lot of times, if you get in an accident, you call Frankel and Frankel, 214-333-3333 or 817. That number works with all threes as well. You'll talk to a partner. You're not going to talk to their Blake, guy who's going to be all not into it. He's going to talk to you, and he's going to care about you.
Let me get him.
Yeah, you don't have to ask for the manager. The manager will answer the phone, or at least they'll get you to him right away. So Frankel and Frankel, if indeed you're in a battle with insurance companies or you've had a personal injury.
If another attorney calls you, or an insurance company, somebody, call the Frankels, and either Mark or Scott Frankel or Gene Burkett, they will go to that other attorney's office. They'll hang up the phone. While the guy's talking, they hang up the phone and say, "Let me handle this." Thank you, Frankel.
Let me give you a couple of viewer mail birthdays, and then we'll do some Today in History. And I also want to just fire up the old bracket Dan at hotmail.com, just in case we had a couple more trickle in during the day. Oh, looks like we did. Anyway. Dear Pussy Pirate. Sunday was my longtime friend. Like, I always wonder, like an advertiser, hey, I want to just listen to my spot. And then they're not a big listener to the show. Because they're out there defending people, and then they're keep listening for let me just listen for another minute.
Yeah, and then they find out.
Dear Pussy Pirate, maybe I should put these in a different order when I do that. Anyway, Matt Klipas's birthday. This is from Adam Fritzl, who says more TC, Soroy, Danny, and Julie. So apparently he just hates our show. Wants us to have all these other people on.
Could be a freak fan.
This is Poyito, who says, in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I'm wearing my Poyito shirt. You guys should wear the shirts that my wife made for you so kindly and then drove all the way to see you in San Antonio. He says, only if it's a video podcast and only if you really care about your listeners. I'm sending this to all of you guys. I have copied Jake and Blake on this. And the future of your podcast could rest on you wearing my cool shirts that I made for you.
Boy, it looks like, Dan, that you care. I certainly care. We did our part.
I think you guys know where I stand on this. And it's the day we left the ticket. I said, I will do this with you guys, but I'm not doing any of that Mexican shit.
All right. I remember.
And I said to you then, I said, not even for Pollito.
Greetings, sex man. May 5th is my 46th birthday. My leaders are Jake claiming everyone else in rehab had a bigger problem than him.
Did I ever actually? I said you have to check yourself.
He says, check the tape October 7th, 2024, starting at 22:11.
Uh-oh.
Something I have to guard against when I talk
So I did
about
last
this is
night.
when I got there and really started talking to people, realized I was not necessarily consuming my DOC, drug of choice, to the degree that basically anyone else there might have been, but I still wasn't going to be able to stop completely, which is what I wanted to do on my own. It just wasn't going to happen. I stand by that.
Oh, this are his leaders. This is Benji in Virginia Beach. Also, the way Blake folds his arms on video.
Okay.
Mike Soroy's general disinterest in sounding out vowels. Any 690 sit-in guest unrelated to Qualis. Clayton adding got laid to his weekend check. And analytical Ron.
Yeah, let's make that happen, Clayton.
Analytical Ron.
Hello, Pink Palace Plumber. Greased the Venmo crease for my own 36th birthday shout-out.
Received.
I know some people are sick of Luka talk and some people want more, but I think we can all agree that we are sick of all the non-sports people in our lives wanting to talk about it. They don't realize it's an actual tragedy in my life, and they want to talk about it like it's another story on TMZ. Surely my heroes get this even more than me, since sports and recreation is your job. More Blake, less weekend check from Clayton.
Hey.
Nobody gives an F about the fast food you ate over the weekend, bro.
Damn.
From Tony the Prosper DF.
Eagles.
Now, here's the thing. You shouldn't write that to Clayton because you're going to get in his head. And I shouldn't read it because it's going to get in Clayton's head. But here I am. I don't read these ahead of time. That's only my problem.
There's some great Cinco de Mayo deals out there. You might want to get to your local Jack in the Box.
There you go.
Check out their mini tacos or beef lovers burrito. Also gave Chat some power moves when you're ordering pizza, ways to get it.
This is what you get,
Have fun and prosper, bro.
Prosper's very nice.
Yeah, so his
used to be a field out there.
His advice to you was it was to go to Jack in a Box and get their tacos to be a little more Mexican.
That's right. Cinco de Mayo deal. Steve Brannon.
Brannon. Thank you, Blake.
According to Rick, he was my youth pastor growing up and convinced me that sex before marriage was evil. Boy, was he wrong. Banging chicks is super fun. He turned 57 on Sunday. His leaders are Dan Lieberman and the Bobby McFerrin Experience. Dan being afraid to pet a horse because he'll get scurvy, and Dan's cute meat. This guy likes Dan.
Meat cute.
Meat cute.
Oh, and let's see, two more. Good afternoon, Kathy's calendar hookup. Name Mo Salerno. Age 38, leaders anyone not running the Mavericks, and Jake always proclaiming this was fun with sit-ins.
Why do I know this guy?
His claim to fame, he tried eating 200 Chick-fil-A nuggets at the Brent Crable remote.
I think he got to 38.
If you need an expert
Forgot
on
about
accounting for trampoline parks and being a counselor at some rich kid's summer camp, he's your guy. This is from Nima Shabazi. Not the other Nima. I had to say his last name as well, in case you knew a lot of Nimas.
We hadn't seen Nima in a while.
Do you think the name Nima is popular in...
Go ahead.
Whatever Nima is, whatever nationality or origin. I see him as just a guy, but I know you probably think, oh, there's a Indian? I don't know what's Nima. He's something, right? Like he's his origin isn't like Europe, I wouldn't think. But
No,
maybe it is.
I
know.
don't know specifically where Nima Shabazi's family is from. I mean, I have a guess, but I think it's probably popular. Probably, it sounds like
You
it's
think
like,
the name Nima?
Yeah.
It's like Muhammadish?
I don't know that it's that, but let's find out.
Like Singh? Like you ever meet somebody named Singh, where when I was a little kid, I didn't know that it was, oh yeah, this is probably like a really popular name.
Yeah, for sure.
And dear Grand Poobah of the Gash, it is my brother Dane's 29th birthday. He probably won't hear this for a week or two since he's behind. His leaders are abbreviating words that don't need to be shortened and pop up fake norm, hearing you guys struggle to speak about business terms.
Did you see the Cavs t-shirt bit?
No. That's from Walter from Princeton.
Jesus, Walter.
What?
I
just really want you to watch Big Lebowski.
I guess their slogan was "Be the difference" or something, so they'd put "Be the diff," D-I-F-F, on the shirts.
Oh no! Why can't the Cavs do anything right? Like all the way right?
You want a funny Cavs t-shirt story?
Absolutely.
It was a long time ago. Can I tell this story? Do you know it? The Halloween one?
I don't know it.
Literally, might have been 20 years ago. But they had a promotion they were setting up for Halloween. And as is often the case, they had like young promotion staff, you know. So 20 years ago, they weren't millennial because they were young 20s, but they're just doing we got to do the T-shirt stuff. And then they were in a brainstorming meeting and they came up with an idea. But they were also just naive and they weren't wise to the world. And they were just friendly. They just saw people as people. And so they didn't think of what they were doing here. And they set up a thing and they're like, well, we're going to call some of the sections different names. At this NBA game, and this one of the sections, and they were going to have a big sign and everything. Was called Spooktown.
Oh shit! Yeah, and if you could,
And I guess
we'll be directing you over here to section 224.
One of the older
this evening. That's going to go ahead and be.
Once they were trying to pitch it to their boss, they were showing him the thing and all this, and the boss was older and maybe a little more aware of
slurs,
certain slurs and everything, and like also just the demographics of the sport. And we're like, I don't think, no, that's not going to do. We're not going to have that.
Yes. Listen, there have been plenty of times where that last part didn't happen. So,
yeah,
the Cavs actually did do something right there.
Yeah.
The Dumb Zone presents Today in History.
Now, this guy will have a sponsor, Tito's Handmade Vodka. Yeah. You know, Tito's Handmade Vodka, essential part of any Dumb Zone watching party. It's America's favorite vodka for a reason, a spirit that knows how to focus on what's important. That's why Tito's comes in a standard bottle with a modest paper label, so all you pay for is the high-quality vodka inside. Tito's, 6 times distilled till it's just right, naturally gluten-free, and mixes with just about anything, from the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. We're excited to be associated with a brand like Tito's because not only is it known for great vodka, but for giving back by teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. It is the vodka for dog people after all. Find your new favorite cocktail with Tito's by visiting titosvodka.com. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Distilled from corn. Copyright 2025. Crafted to be savored responsibly. And today is Monday, May 5th. On this day, in 1893, Bill Pickett invented bulldogging. Blake, define bulldogging.
Can't.
Anybody? I bet Clayton knows.
It's what you do with a cow, right? Like a calf. It has something to do with cows.
I'll read. The skill of grabbing cattle by the horns and wrestling them to the ground.
You like ride them down, right, Clayton? I've seen that done plenty of times.
Like at the rodeo?
Yeah.
Yeah, steer wrestling or bulldogging.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't mess with those guys.
A guy who can do that?
Yeah.
Do you guys think I could?
No.
If you're talking about breaking a horse, could I eventually get one bulldog right?
You have to ride a horse while the horse is going full gallop, slide off the side of it onto a cow with horns.
Yeah, what at the rodeo would you be good at?
Give me 3 years. Can I do it in 3 years?
I know a place. We're going,
No.
when we go to Graham, there's a place by there. We can see
Steers.
if you can do it.
We should get my stepdad.
I'll meet you there.
We should get my stepdad on one day. Just got a lot of stories. He definitely worked in the rodeo. He was rodeo guy while he was like also a cop.
Dan could be the barrel clown.
Dude, those guys get
Hey, there you go.
You're in a
up
barrel.
sometimes.
You ever see that show? What is the guy from The Hangover? Zach Galifianakis had a TV show about being a barrel clown.
Oh, really? You know what? I vaguely remember. Was it like on FX or something?
Yeah.
Those guys get jammed up.
It was good.
Sometimes.
Rodeo's fun.
I'm not against the rodeo.
On this day in 1973, Secretariat won the Kentucky Derby. Journalism lost, guys.
I saw that.
The favorite was journalism in the Kentucky Derby Saturday.
Guess it doesn't pay to invest in journalism.
That's a good one. On this day in 1978, Ben & Jerry's
Woke.
had its beginnings. What? Really?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Opened their first ice cream parlor.
They're like one of the
in Vermont.
first. They were like one of the first companies that got political.
Like Blackberry Matters or...
Dude, you're not that far off.
And...
What would be some other funny ones?
Like race-related? Or woke-related?
Because here's what they've got. They got empowerment.
Oh, okay. That's good.
It's so good.
Yep.
Pecan resist.
You can't start with empowerment. Like, that's such a good one.
Yeah.
What about celebrating the Supreme Court's decision on marriage equality by renaming chocolate chip cookie dough I dough?
Nah.
No hitters. That's pretty much all I got. Eat the Rich. Fun one.
DE ice cream.
Okay.
That's pretty good too. I mean, you know I'm going to go back to trying to use what? From the river to the caramel sea salt. Yeah.
That's probably one of my all-time favorite bits we've done.
Yeah.
Reese Fire.
Reese Fires is just, it's just, you can't get better than Reese Fire.
And on this day in 1994, Singapore caned American teenager Michael Fay for vandalism. President Bill Clinton had stepped in, but he got the sentence reduced from 6 lashes to 4.
Because, see, the other one would have been like mint chocolate settlement or chocolate settlement, you know? That's a good one.
Now, I'm sure we can come up with
7 days of flavor.
Give us a little while.
Didn't they have the 7 Days War or something, Clayton?
I still have that list. Where is it?
Yeah. What's a good one? Like PLO, oats, maybe if we could get an oats.
Okay, here we go.
I'm
Peach in the Middle East.
Yes.
These are all
Yasser era non-fat cream or something.
Yeah, yes, era low fat. RP gelato. Israelis and cream. Brownie a la mode. Iraqi road.
That's good.
Yemen lime.
Okay, yeah. Good stuff.
Other birthdays today, Adele, 37.
I don't even know, man. A really weird career. Super famous, fat, now not, married to Rich Paul. It's confusing.
Oh, she's not fat anymore?
No.
Oh.
She's wafy.
I didn't know she was married to Rich Paul.
Or at least dating, right?
I don't know. I just said I didn't know.
You just found that out?
Yeah.
Dude, they've been dating for like 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. Adele is engaged to LeBron's best friend.
Do you think he'd be the best man at the wedding?
Yeah.
You have to, let's say you had another friend that was kind of better friend. You have to ask LeBron, though.
What if you ask Jordan?
Because he's so...
You're like, I don't know him.
Like if you had a falling out with LeBron?
Yeah. Yeah, like doesn't Jordan Hudson have to end up bagging Tom Brady?
Oh, my God.
Like at some point?
That'd be awesome.
Where am I? Vincent Kartheiser, 46. Is he the weird guy from Mad Men that we've had on?
Yes.
Yeah. Kartheiser.
Any birthdays?
If alive, Michael Palin is 82.
Is he the original husband?
We were doing a lot of sales call this morning, so it turns out this was slapped together at the last moment.
I don't know who this guy is.
Michael Palin was a Monty Python.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you aware of Monty Python?
Yeah, I think I watched it to impress my father-in-law.
That'll happen.
It's one of his favorite movies. I watched it just...
Well, they made quite a few movies.
It's a comedy group.
Interested in which movie, because there is a ranking system, and I think you would like some of them, but maybe not.
You should watch Life of Brian.
Which is the one with the castle?
Yeah, that's the one I think you'd like. Life of Brian is not that. That's
Holy Grail?
Yeah, Holy Grail.
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, not for me.
Yeah.
Not good?
It was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
No Goodfellas?
No, Goodfellas was good.
I'm saying it's no Goodfellas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they farted.
You don't want to hear it's fine. I'm sure you were nicer about it to the father-in-law. Like, oh, hilarious.
I had a note in my phone of some lines that I could go to.
Now, you know that... Were you with him when you were watching it?
No.
Okay, good. Because I know how you are when I'm at the Kevin James show with you. You're worried, like you're watching me, and then you're watching me watch you, and you're in your head. Like about...
Yeah, but I fake it in front of people.
But if you're in front of him, would you be laughing out loud at the... Okay.
For sure.
Even though you don't think it's funny.
Right, because that's what he wants.
So you're saying when people meet you and you're being real nice and you're probably
That's
faking.
not who I am.
Okay.
Correct.
You are inauthentic.
The diff.
Whereas I'm authentic. Henry Cavill is 42.
Yeah, I don't think he's got Kemp spins, but he had a weird situation where he was like Superman.
I thought he was Jesus.
No,
Jim
that's
Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel.
Oh, okay. Henry Cavill is not.
Well, Henry Cavill was Superman.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it was like there was some weird story where they were like, "Hey, we're not doing Superman anymore, so you're done." And then they decided to bring it back, and he's like, "Am I back?" Like, no, just Superman, not you. Did you watch the ones he's in? He's in like 5 Superman movies.
I don't think so. I'm a purist.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh. Want to do some Kemp spins? Or at least one? Brian Williams, 66.
Yeah, somehow still allowed to be on the news, despite the fact that when he lied, he didn't just lie. He lied about reporting the news. Said he was in a helicopter that was being fired at, and it was dangerous and, beyond the wire. Like, dude, you were at a Starbucks in the green zone. I want to hear about it.
Vanessa Bryant, 43. Single. Kurt Sutter, 65.
Dude, who's going to have the balls to do it, though?
Anthony Edwards.
That would be awesome.
He's got lots of babies already, right?
Mm-hmm. He paid his child support up front.
That's one of the most insane stories I'd ever. We didn't talk about that at time. He's just like, let me get in front of this.
I wonder if they ever should the judge give you like, do you want the instant payout or do you want
Right,
the
like the
20-year?
lottery.
Yeah,
It'd be less.
Let me do quick pay.
it should be less if you're paying up front.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good bit.
It's also like he's smarter than most NBA teams because he's like, look, the cap is going up. Like,
Right.
if I can just lock this in at this rate.
Yeah, you don't want to cost of living change. Kurt Sutter, 65.
Is that
He
the
was the guy that
Sons?
invented Sons of Anarchy.
I think he's married to that lady,
Yeah, the Married with Children mom,
Catherine. No,
Catherine Bach.
Katie Siegel.
Brooke Hogan, 37.
Dated
Phil
Costner.
Cowboy, right?
Yeah.
And our feature birthday of the day is actor Clark Duke. He's 40.
Oh yeah, yeah. I knew that name. You know,
Hot Tub Time Machine, and yes, he looks like TC.
TC used to reject that comparison, but as far as like a nerd dorky guy goes, like that's a good looking kid.
Yeah, TC's allowed to pick one comparison he wants to reject.
Like Clark Duke's
Not Clark Duke.
he's a fine looking young man who at times could probably be confused for an older woman. But you know,
I didn't say it.
But that's a good
Because
looking
I
kid.
limit my comparisons to approved ones. Born on this day, now dead, Hideki Arabu.
Toad?
Fat Toad. He says here he was a former Ranger. I don't remember him on the Rangers.
Did he play? I do remember they signed him. Maybe you're right. Let's see. 1 year?
Was he
was
the-
the closer?
Was he the Korean? I think he's Korean. I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
He's
But
Japanese.
that would have like a...
Anytime you hear like Hideki, something,
oh, okay.
I feel like that's usually.
All
But
right,
go
never
ahead.
mind then. I can't remember. Well, so somebody had like a backpack full of rocks or something, like that they would carry. It was, but it could have been like who was the failed Korean signing? Not Shin Soo Choo, but they had one previous to that.
Chan-Ho Park?
Chan-Ho Park. I think one of those guys like had a backpack and rocks involved.
Well, Hideki
It's probably
Arabu,
a real racist thing I did.
He did hang himself. That's how he died. You didn't mention it. You don't get a
Well,
lot.
no, he's born on this day. I'm
Oh.
celebrating his life.
And his
Is that a Kempspin original? Or is that a Kempspin to have hanged yourself?
you're
Huh?
celebrating his career 5.15.
So you don't care if I
ERA.
say hanged correctly or hung because you're like, whatever, who cares about grammar?
Yeah.
That's the way you
Yeah.
want, that's the way you'll have your kid?
Oh, I thought there was a but.
No.
No, that
trying to
just
support
makes
you.
total sense.
Okay.
Who cares? Right? You know what I mean? Did everybody
Hung-
do hang,
hunged.
hung?
Hunged. You'd be like, yeah, okay, that's fine, Nora. That's how you should say that.
That is not something that I care about. No.
Huh. And Sage Stallone, he is Sylvester's kid.
Now, if she asked me, like, you know, what was Helen Keller known for, I'll be like, workers' rights. Yeah.
There you go.
I just thought the Arabu thing was weird because, you know, as a drunk, this is not a position I ever got myself in fully, but I always feel bad for people who, like, get hammered and kill themselves. It's one thing if you kill yourself and you're like, because you're thinking, I can't get out of this, but doing it while you're drunk, which I think happens a lot, is horribly sad to me. Because it's like,
Because you're not
come on,
making
bro.
strong decisions.
You
in
know,
that.
all the other times you did something drunk and regretted it and could fix it after? Why
Yeah.
don't we look at all of those and be like, if we're going to do it, let's at least do it sober. It's a tough one.
Died on this day, still dead, Napoleon Bonaparte. Wasn't there another Napoleon?
Dynamite? Like, what are you?
I guess that's the only Napoleon.
Napoleon Bonaparte? I mean,
Who was the guy in the 40s?
the 40s of what?
That wasn't Napoleon.
Hitler?
No, Hitler's buddy, his Italian
Mussolini.
buddy. Mussolini.
Benedito Mussolini. Jesus.
I knew
It's Benito, but
If you're gonna idolize the guy, at least know his.
But I guess Napoleon's
his running
France,
crew.
too.
Yeah, you
not
think
even
I'm
Italy.
really into 50 Cent without knowing Lloyd Banks?
He's
and,
not even Italy.
Yeah, he was 5'7".
It's not that he was not in Italy. It's that he's Napoleon. You know.
They had war named after him.
And they named 3-color ice cream after him.
They did. I ever tell you about my massive dating botch on that one? She told me she was really into Neapolitan, and I bought sherbet. I just remember there was one with 3 kinds. She was like, what is this? And once you have a thing of sherbet ice cream, if people don't like it, there's not a lot of use for it. It's not a pliable, let's have some cookies with this. It's just disgusting neon ice cream.
Also, the inventor of the surfboard died on this day in 1994. He was 92, and he died surfing.
Good for him.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably.
I just made that up. And in 2008, dead Irv Robbins, the co-founder of Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
Wow, 21 flavor salute.
Yes, they would do all flavors matter, right? Because they're not the woke ice cream. And his partner, Carol Baskin, from Tiger King fame.
Back the Bluebell.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot here.
And that was
You've been working on that for like 15 minutes?
Kinda.
Kinda?
Yeah. We need some user submissions.
Yeah.
I got a big night tonight. Wife and kid are leaving town.
Whoa, and the week's the only time? Wow.
On a Monday?
Get a load of this. She's going to a wedding in Austin tomorrow.
The wedding is tomorrow?
A Tuesday wedding.
Hippies.
She's taking the kid, and somehow you get out of it?
He's got a very important job to do.
Yeah, she respects my work.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Like you get out of a wedding. And who's
In
getting married
Austin?
on a Tuesday night?
Boy,
wedding?
you better have the greatest segments known to man in this pitch tomorrow.
But you know I didn't ask. Hey, I got this wedding in Austin on Tuesday. Oh, okay. We'll see ya.
What's the question to ask?
Do you want me to go?
Like, who the hell is having a wedding
Oh,
on a
you didn't even
Tuesday?
say.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get into
No.
this.
You didn't even
Zero
say. Who is
question.
it?
Yeah, intimate that I was talking her out of it.
Hell,
It's
she
like,
could be getting married.
you gotta
and he
go-
wouldn't care.
If you gotta go, you gotta go. Can you take the kid?
That's amazing. Good job, dude.
Good job.
He's going to have less ready tomorrow.
Yeah,
is the
and
point.
I won't be mad. You're right.
Adios, mofo.
Gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.
Fucking party. Oh, who said that? Oh, is that Fitz? I don't know. I bet it's Fitz.
Dude, finally someone made the Beatles good.
Na 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 na. Moving.